And welcome to the final 2 hours of the session and a few seconds as well. It's been an active market there. Hopefully Trader Pratt and Miss V will enjoy their burgers. I know mine was definitely tasty. Just a bit of a recap as to how things have been going. It started off a little bit quiet in the overall market, but you are seeing now the S&P up a strong 0.6%. The Dow has made a bit of a move back to the upside. It was relatively flat, dragged down by, taken up by Disney actually, and now up 0.5%. But the NASDAQ has been booming. You're going to see both NASDAQ 100 and NASDAQ Composite both close to that 1% mark and getting there, possibly driven a little bit by Qualcomm. Their investor day has them up 5.5%. Pushing through highs again as we look right now. And it's been an unbelievable day so far. When you really think about it, Tesla had made a bit of a move. We saw in the afternoon when you guys watched our show that random, I guess, push to the upside in the overall EV space. And then today you get Lucid breaking out. You get strong moves in Rivian early on, and then Tesla getting a bit of a bounce. But all things about Qualcomm here. And when you take a quick look at the heat map here, you can kind of see where we are lagging a little bit, and it's been in the travel sector, just sort of coming across and looking at what's going on with AAL and UAL, LUV, Southwest looking weak. It hasn't been all roses for General Electric here, down 3%. This is on the heels of that fantastic, I guess, bounce and gap up they got when they talked about restructuring, dividing into 3 separate businesses. A lot of people like that for unlocking value. I tend to be one of them, but you are seeing them under pressure. Boeing as well, which had a strong day yesterday. They're down 2%. Overall, you're going to see NCLH probably the biggest red on the board out of the S&P 500, as you do see some of the travel names fall into further pressure. Etsy is looking hella strong, up 6% there. And look, Home Depot's with a strong report. They're up almost a full 6%. Lowe's being dragged as well, up 4.8%. So you're definitely seeing a follow through with some of those retail names. Walmart, a little bit of a different story. There are some concerns that, hey, supply chain is going to be a continuing issue for them. As we talked about with Qualcomm, some of the chip makers looking pretty strong today. AMD, not quite at 3%, but they're absolutely getting there and looking like they're in the midst of another strong run. NVIDIA not nearly moving as much, but remember, NVIDIA does report tomorrow after the bell. So there should be a lot to trade here today. Definitely pretty exciting. As I look at Qualcomm right now, sitting there right about that 178 high on the actual high of the day. It's a tremendous amount of strength that we're seeing in this market. Seems pretty resilient to me. It was exciting to see that investor day go through. I mean, one of the things that we love to do here is always learn about how to trade, where we like our entries and exits, how we can go back and review what has been successful for us, but also sometimes where we can do better. And there's almost no better way than to review live trades from earlier on in the session, which is exactly what we want to be able to do here. Sean is going to have a review of his trade of the day, and I know you are all excited to get him on the screen and get my ugly mug out of here.
Upgrade time. Let's look at Lucid right here, guys. A big opportunity. Welcome to the trade of the day. Let's review it here. Look, Lucid's been such hot fire. You're going to see a bunch of missed opportunities in here. Oh, well, we go off the air. We do other things. We miss this little big bump up. But the thing I want to draw everyone's attention to, the main point with all of this is this. On the sticky note today, the number 2 stock here, we just noticed, obviously, Lucid earnings, right? 21 cents versus 25 on the negative side, so that's better than expected. Order book, 1.3 billion, 20K cars expected in 2022. Not only that, we also write down exactly what we're doing. Look, 48 break long, support back to 46. It's all written right there on the sticky note, and that's exactly what we did. We actually take this real early, man. There's that 48 break, and we're laughing all the way to the bank as we get them out 49, 49.50. Then we get it out at 50. So we're already up $2 plus, and the market hasn't even opened yet. I think the main idea when you're reviewing charts and you're looking at what to trade, pick 1 or 2 names. Focus on them early. That way, when the market starts to open up, you have your levels, you have an idea of what you want to trade. So that's what we did. We write down 46 just in case we get that dip. And look what winds up happening. We actually leave the stock alone for a bit because it starts to fade back in, and we're not interested in taking Lucid until that 46 mark. So it comes back in. We actually take a 47, keeps on dipping down, and we take a 46.50. Look, our out's going to be around $46. So we let it fade all the way back in, and look where it stops at, 46. Support, 46. It's right there on the board, right? So that's what we were looking at. We don't have to get out. All of a sudden, tick, 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 comes all the way back to the upside. We get out all the way up. Then we make a keystroke error there. Nothing happens. We go long, we go short, nothing. Then all of a sudden, starts to break above. Now we're like, you know what? We may not see this 46 anymore. So we start to buy these bottoms now using VWAP, probably VWAP anyways, at that point, as $48. Start to buy again. Out, 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 out. Out at 50 one more time again. Coinciding with that out, then it's boom to the upside. Unfortunately, you know, when we go long 48, we get out at 50, that's another $2. You can add up all this. We're probably up $10+ or more on Lucid. Then all of a sudden, explosion to the upside, we leave it alone. But look, this is the one thing. You see as this starts to ramp up here, like look how many greens we have in a row. Boom, 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 boom. Stops, comes back down. Tons of green in a row. Stops, barcodes, right? The same thing kind of happens here, where you get a monster move upside right here. Stops at 54.50. That's where we start to take some profit out. Sorry, that's where we get to go short. Comes back in. We take 50 cents. Then we take $1.50. Good trade. We were actually, I was sitting here debating with Arun. I was looking at this 52, 52.50 area, thinking that might get down there. Once it stops at 52.50 and goes back to the upside, we actually have a stop order to get out there at 53. So we take another $1.50. So long early. Then we take that short. I still like the short right now. We'll probably put that on here in the afternoon. So, hey, look, it's your trade of the day. It's Lucid. Honestly, I think if you're looking at the sticky note in the morning, that should give you some good ideas. So please try to do that at Trader TV, Sean. It's your trade of the day, and it's Lucid.
And what a trade it was. And also featuring number 2 on our daily watch list was Lucid. That and some other movers. Make sure you sign up for that. You can check and scan the QR code there for you, because you're going to notice these ones and want to have them up all day long. It's not just about those early morning breakouts, as you did see the opportunity on Lucid, but hey, look, there's a triple top forming right now, which Sean pointed out. He's going to be looking at the short there. I kind of like that in both directions at that triple top high. Looks like it should be a good one. As a matter of fact, we're going to go through and discuss some of the movers from earlier on in the morning that were on our watch list, guys. And, you know, to sort of start things off here, and one that I know we're trading a little bit heavily in the morning was, I guess, one of the most interesting and strongest and unbelievably priced IPOs that we can imagine. But that Rivian, I don't even know what to say. Rivian, at this particular point, guys, what are we doing with this thing?
Rivian. Okay. Rivian was quite an aggressive mover. Ever since it IPO'd, and I talked about this in the morning too. When it IPO'd, I remember that day I was here, that was the last time I was here, and we were short, and it was sitting around that 102, 103, and I remember mentioning that if it was able to get above 116, then there was going to be support. And essentially, it has not stopped, and I'm surprised at the speed of this move. This is a 15-minute chart going back since the IPO. It's just been that one day we came down, you see all those trades that I made, and then up, sideways, up, and then another move up. But here's the difference though, between the 11th when we went up, the 12th we went sideways, and now the 15th we went up. Here we are on the 16th, and we're spending a lot of time going between 170 and 154. It looks like we're running into some resistance here, some sell side activity. So the market is slowing down. It's starting to respect some volume on the sell side. So expect this to kind of set up another big trade, whether it's to the downside or to the upside. Regardless, it doesn't really matter. What it does matter though is the fact that last time we went sideways, we developed some volume to work with, and then we took off. So expect about the same kind of activity for this stock when it decides to go. I would imagine 150 would be the bottom, and it looks like, based on the way it's trading today, 170 would be the top. So it's finding a way to declare some volume, whether it's the sellers or the buyers. There's some volume moving through the board here, and once it decides to go, it will go. So imagine that this thing that has gone from $100 to $166 is now setting up another move, and that's got to be exciting. Regardless of the direction, that's got to be an exciting thing to look for, especially as a day trader.
Yeah, Rivian, we've kind of left it alone. We were really peed off the open here because, you know, we had that tick and then we had that tick. Basically, I made the low and the high of the day all within like 2 minutes. So it was a lot of trading in here on Rivian, but you know, we did get some revenge on this as we shorted there, 162.50 out 159. So that's, what is that, 350 there, and then another short there, and out and out and out, and then this was a good one. We talked about this live on the Memes and Movers show there when we shorted this back into the range again. It's since broken out, but you're right back in. So there's Rivian 163.50 again, out 159.50. So another $3 or $4 right there on Rivian. But wow, what a beast it's been today. We talked about wanting to take the pre-market break, which was basically right there. You know, that's what got us out. Unfortunately, I wish we didn't have that tick. Everything else is okay. This one I don't mind as much, but it's some of these in here, like that one. Just we thought that it was going to explode to the high side, and of course Rivian moving around a lot today, another 9%. Like people say, oh, what about crypto? Like, oh, crypto's crazy. Don't get your money into crypto. It's too wild. Look at Rivian, man. I mean, Rivian's 90. Well, you were here, Arun. Yeah. 108 or 106.75 where we IPO'd at. You're now 60% in the money on that alone. So there you go on Rivian. I mean, a 60% move in 5 days, absolutely insane. Look, I think Rivian falls back down. I think eventually we'll get a 155 kill zone, and then we'll come back in. So for me, I'd be looking to try to pick up maybe some 140 puts. I don't even know what these things are priced out right now, but hey, guys, thank you once again. And I think that for the trade of the day, Neil and myself will focus on also doing negative trades, because I did see that there was some comments there about why don't we do something that we lose on, which today, I've only lost on one trade. That's the Rivian trade. So not much there, but I will talk about it maybe even tomorrow for our trade of the day. But there we go. Rivian, you know, making some money now. Was rough early, but we've, you know, made a lot of that back.
Yeah, I want to come to Lucid here for just a quick second, because it's our number 2, and of course it was the trade of the day as well, but they did get a price target raise from Citigroup, being 57 from 28, quite a big one. It might get there today as we're testing that double top. There was, of course, shares were up in the pre-market. They did have those reservations, 13,000, over $1 billion worth there. So positive news. They catch the upgrade. It gives you a little bit of everything there. Certainly, I know, Sean, you ended off that awesome review basically saying we have this great triple top at 54.50 for another possible short opportunity. Just any further thoughts on, as we're screaming towards that right now, what we might be looking for in this final 2 hours here from either one of you? I'm looking at it here and thinking to myself, I don't like a top break which runs right into 55 even, but there is still 50 cents worth of room for a scalp trade if you wanted it breaking this 55.40 top.
Yeah, I mean, we just reviewed it, and I don't know. I'm probably, you know, I'm more likely to take a short rather than a long on this break. I think it's probably over-exhausted here, just like me, exhausted today. Yeah, but 54.50, I think that the volume's ran out a little bit here. You could see it, I mean, hasn't really ran out. It's still at the high side, but I just feel like if it wanted to break, it probably would have done it already. Some of these tops that keep getting tested, you know, eventually they break. I mean, even in here when we were at 48, you know, it kept bumping up a little bit here, and then once it broke, it took off. And I'm just surprised that it didn't take off there. It didn't take off there again. So for me, this is going to be a short no matter what. And I know, you know, Lucid was a SPAC before. I don't even remember what the SPAC was. Where's my daily chart? It's gone right now. But this is still, even if you look at a 20-minute chart, you know, look how far up we are, man. This is $26 just back in October 26th. So you're talking about like 15 or so trading days, and you've doubled up. So I think this has gone a little bit too far. They do have that one car. They did get car of the year, which is funny because I don't know if anybody's really driving any Lucid Airs right now, but it is the car of the year. They get that. It's a beautiful bump. Everything this week has been all about infrastructure, all about EV plays, so on and so forth. So Lucid with 20%, I think it's a little too high. What is the high today? 54.50. So you could take the short. I'd rather short it gets a little bit closer. Maybe 54.30 we'll put on a short. But yeah, I think it's worth the risk. But I'm not excited about going long through the top. I think 20% is pretty good. It's already taken out Ford's market cap as well. So 54.30 we'll put it on, and we'll see if we can hold without a couple pennies there. You got any other thoughts there,
on Lucid?
Arun?
Yeah, Lucid, like think about it this way, on a multi-day breakout, as traders, we're looking for multi-day breakouts, which are the easier of the trades that you can look for. And what has this been doing since the 9th? I want to say it's been going sideways between 45, 46 on the top end and about 42, it seems like we can round it down to 40. And it's just been going sideways, and we finally got the one day where we actually got above. Yesterday we got above and came right back down. Today we got above and stayed above, and this thing has just completely taken off. And it's not surprising though. On a stock that has been doing this, and we finally get the volume to actually get above the resistance level, you're going to have this kind of movement. Everyone wants a part of this, especially with Tesla coming off. That money has to go somewhere. For anyone who wants to play EV, they're going to move it into something else. If they're going to take it off of Tesla and put it in something else, well, what are your options, right? Lucid is one of those options. So you see this move happening now as people kind of not divest, but just allocate money in different places. Yeah. And Lucid, for all it's worth, the movement is there. And it's just one of those things where it's gone. When you look for these setups throughout the days, you wait for this, and you finally get it, and you take your shot. So for anyone who was able to jump on board and take that shot to the upside, kudos to you, because I'm sure you would have done really well on Lucid to the upside. I do want to put a couple things up. I'm in 3 longs, 1 short. The 1 short that I have is HUT from this morning, which I kind of gave up on. I mentioned to you guys, but 1450 was the stop that I was using. Never got hit, so we're still sitting in that trade from this morning. The other one is Microsoft, AMAT, and SPLK. AMAT and SPLK, and Microsoft and SPLK are somewhat flat. AMAT's up 25 cents. So, I mean, it's a quiet day, even though the futures, though, we do have to talk about this while I'm here. Futures have just been grinding higher, which is quite impressive, I think, because this has been a quiet move, because it's been aggressive, it goes quiet, aggressive, and then it just drifts up. And there's been 2 essential volatile periods from 74 to 90, and then from 88 to 4,700, and then everything in between that is just a quiet movement. So it's nice to see that the futures are starting to get back towards all-time highs. We're sitting just above 47.10, I believe. Somewhere in that price point is where the all-time highs are, so we're not too far away if we were to go for that. But the way it's moving at least opens up the market to allow for some trading. And you're seeing in the index name, you're seeing Apple go, you're seeing AMD go, and now Microsoft has been moving as well. You're seeing a lot of these big index names start to move as well. And that's a great thing for anyone who's trading throughout the days, intraday traders. That's a great thing to see, because it provides a ton of opportunities in many different places.
And now, guys, it's time for us to get our learn on. What we have here is our final, I guess, our third segment when it comes to strategies that you can apply as a beginning trader. It's going to be part 3. We've talked about a couple before, but it's going to be talking breakouts. And it seems like a simplistic strategy. Everyone kind of understands what a breakout might be. But breaking it down and then understanding how to capitalize on different types of breakouts, what we want to get into here. So what's going to be in this particular rundown? Are all breakouts the same? Yeah, okay, break a price level, go long, go short, whatever it might be. But what about all-time high breaks, point 2? Because then you're in uncharted territories as opposed to having obvious levels. And then another one, which has been discussed a heck of a lot here, and that's multi-day breaks. Do we like them more? Do we like them less? How do we execute around those? So overall, we're going to break down not just the differences between these types of breaks, but most importantly, how you are going to want to trade them and put this important tool in your trading toolbox.
So I'll get started with, are all breakouts the same? The answer is no, because a lot of the times what you're going to see, or very few times, are you ever going to get a clean break that just completely goes. And a lot of it has to do with the fact, is there volume from previous sessions that the market is respecting? So a couple examples here. We'll put out Lucid versus Home Depot. They're both breakouts, they're both multi-day breakouts that have been setting up for a while, but they're not traded the same way. You can't look at them the same way, because let's look at Home Depot. Up huge, up 6% almost on the day. It's been going sideways, and this is the way I would look at it too. It's been going sideways for a while now. Since late October, it's been going sideways, about 375, 376, and here we are, moving around, not a whole lot. When it does this kind of movement, you gotta be wary of the first break. So what do you do when it hits the pre-market session? Well, in the pre-market, if we got back above, it means if we got above the range or the top end of the range, it means we've already seen what's above there. And if there's not a whole lot, the market comes back down. And now when we do it in the regular session, we are able to grind through back up through the pre-market high. Now the trade is on. This is different because this one was checked in the pre-market. The levels that were new were checked in the pre-market. But Lucid is quite different because Lucid, we're looking at 45 on the top end or 46. They tried that in the afternoon yesterday, complete failure. And today, it never even got back to that point, which was around 45 or so. So the fact that we got close and we had done a failed breakout yesterday with the move back down to close enough of an area today allows for you to just jump on board and take that ride upside. Now, Sean was trading this, I was doing something else, but the opportunities between the two trades are different because Home Depot was setting up for so long that you have to be careful. And once it's checked in the pre-market, you know, once the market opens, you're good to go if the volume is going to stay on the buy side. Lucid is a little bit different because of how it failed after trying that yesterday, right? A little different. So things to keep in mind when you are looking at different types of breakouts.
So I see some comments too that there is some talk about wanting us to post these. We will post these. So these will get posted up every weekend. We do drop these out. So thanks for watching. Point number 2, what happens when you break all-time highs, right? What is the next strategy? It's all clear ahead. You don't have anything. So we're going to look at Microsoft right here. Now imagine you don't see any of this. You have to sort of discount everything from this side over. I'm going to talk about the first break, which happens right here. So Microsoft every single one of these ticks is a new all-time high. But you finally get a break. We bounce off 295, comes back in, and then breaks it this day, that 295. Look what winds up happening. Ticks up to 305. So I was going to say, when you get in on all-time high breaks, you actually have to say, you know what, I'm going to get out. So you get in there. If it doesn't go one day, that's fine. But if it comes back in, you sometimes, well, not sometimes, most of the time, the best strategy would be to get out on the candle of that day break. So right here, you're seeing this break here, 295, breaking on August 19th. The bottom of that day, 289. So you go long and you don't get out until it breaks back below 289. Unfortunately, that only goes up 10 bucks and then hovers here. So on this trade, if you take this 295 break, you actually hold this until you get stopped out. So this break here doesn't really work. You take the 295 break, it goes in the money 10 bucks. If you want to take it, you could take it. For me, 10 bucks on a $300 stock, you're probably looking for a little bit more. So Microsoft actually fails here. So you get out right there on that open. So how much do you lose? $6 maybe. Okay, not bad, right? Then what you're doing now is you say, okay, now I'm going to wait for the next all-time high break. This time it breaks right here, 306. So your out would be somewhere around here, 302 and change, something in that area. So when that hits, now look at the upside. It never gives back that whole break. So now you lose $6 on this example, right? You go back in on a strong name that you believe in, and this time you're long at 306 on this break, and it never comes back in. All these wicks, forget about them. The market has to close below. So all these wicks, I don't even know if they happen. We chart D prints. So there it is. There's a 306 break. You're not out, and now you're at 340. So right there, there's $34. So it doesn't work this time. You use that candle, you back test it and get out right there. That's a $6 hit on Microsoft. But you say, you know what? I want to get back in. Once it explodes back to the upside, you take the next day break right there, and now you're enjoying it to the upside because there is no upside. It's clear sailing. Remember, these are all-time high breaks. So if you want to take the same thing again right here on Microsoft, you take the 340 and you're going to get out if it breaks back down below 334. Otherwise, you enjoy the upside on the way up. That's how I trade all-time high breaks.
Yes, all-time high breaks, giving you good trades and good swings. Last one here, just going to quickly talk about a multi-day breakout. Going to go over to Prague because just today, it gave you a great opportunity, just as we were taping this. You have on the daily chart here $4.10. Then you came in the pre-market, and it made a nice 410 top just before the market opened. That sets you up for current pre-market high and previous multi-day level there at 410 for a clean break. And the way that I would approach that and did in this particular case is if you're taking a multi-day break, look at the next level on the daily chart. That's 450. that's where you're getting your out. You then get another breakout on that same price when it stalls there, same setup, another 450 break, and then you go all the way back to the daily chart for the next out at about $5, and then it goes right up to that $5 mark. So that's more of a quality day trading or short-term swing trade type of idea there for you. So we learned about different types of breakout trades, how to differentiate between them. We talked about the probably the granddaddy, the all-time highs, buy high, sell higher, right? Something like a Microsoft, you could hold on to that for life. And then, of course, the multi-day level break there, guys. So a lot to cover, and I hope that you guys learned a little bit something there from, I think, one of the most important tools in the trader's toolbox, and that's that multi-day breakout trade, guys.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more with that one. While we were doing that, though, guys, while we were doing that, look what just happened to me on Lucid. So can't do any better. If we go to the screen, guys, yeah, there we go. Can't do much better than that. That's that short we wanted. We told you we were waiting at 54.30. It was actually 50. I guess we could have got 54.30s. We got 54.26s or so there, and look where we just got it out. It instantly crashed down. We only took out one piece, half down there, 53.50. Unfortunately, I was doing that piece. I would have took an exact dollar if not, but now it's come back up. So as soon as I was done there, I just punched out of half. Again, not assessing the chart. If I would have seen this, again, I probably would have got out of everything there on Lucid. But there you go. We'll zoom it back out. Short, multiple dollars there. Another dollar right there on Lucid. Now it's coming back to the upside. So watch out, man. You want to talk. This is why I asked about what it was, CCIV, and thank you for that, Churchill. I should have remembered that was Lucid CCIV. So right now we can call up a CCIV chart. I'm not sure what the all-time high is, but for Lucid, the actual symbol, this is all-time high. So just to talk about what we did there, if you're going to break above all-time high, you kind of got to give it a little bit lower. So for Lucid today, you'd have to give it to whatever the day's low was today, 46. I don't think that's going to be recommended there for you on Lucid, but another short, nicely done, in the money. And again, it's not that it's nicely done. It's just it followed through nicely. Nicely done would have been getting out everything. We're still in half right now, but Lucid's still near those tops. So that's going to be a good trade for us, and we look forward to making more.
Yeah, a stock that I do want to talk about is, Brad was talking about this while he was on, Qualcomm. Absolutely on fire. Look at this movement. Pretty much since, 10:45, we went from 167 all the way up to 174. Took a little break down to 162, and then here we are at 179. Given the way it's moving, there's no way this can be sustained going into the close, because at some point, people are going to want to take profit. And if at this point, if we're hitting 180 going into the final hour and a half, at some point, I would imagine stops are going to get hit. There's going to be a rotation. Not that it's going to sell off, but at least selling to take profit is going to come in. And how much is going to come in, it all depends at which point people decide to get out. If everyone decides to get out at 178, this thing's falling. If it's going to be slowly being exited as we get through 180, that's a different story. But keep an eye on Qualcomm. It's up big, up 6.5%. Imbalances as well, because usually when these stocks move like this, and it almost looks like it's this kind of sustained angle. Look at the angle of this 5-minute chart. It makes you think there's no way this can be maintained by someone deciding that, I'm just going to buy some shares. No, this is like sustained buying through either program work or whatever the case is, but it's something automated given the shape of this movement. So I just keep an eye on this and the imbalances that we get at 350. Keep in mind, imbalances will move stocks going into the final 10 minutes or so. That comes in at 350, so keep an eye on that, because we do want to see what this imbalance on the Qualcomm is as it gets closer and closer to 180.
Yeah, and I just to come in here, guys. Oh, there we go. Yeah, just to come in here because Qualcomm had their investor day, and I think that's one of the reasons for the move. And as you mentioned, Arun, it might be a little bit overextended here. Just to give you guys a bit of a quick look, they set new growth targets and guidance through 2024, continued revenue growth across handsets, front end, automotive, IoT, automotive sales to grow about $3.5 billion in 5 years. It's just an absolute host of information coming through on their investors day. Now, obviously, you're going to be able to move up on good news. But I do want to jump in and talk to another name that was on our watch list here, because I see you in position, Sean, deep, as they like to say, in the money, deep in the money on Clover. But remember, Clover on our watch list was, of course, an offering and was very, very weak this morning before catching a bit of a bid. So this sort of goes to that point of if it's in play, you want to make sure you're continuing to watch it. Don't just write it off because sometimes you get a very, very nice rebound there. So Clover is still down 7%, after the offering and obviously the gap down and then sell off at the open. But it has been on a pretty good rise here and a bit of an interesting $7 support that it's forming right now. If it can hold that, looks like it could be a good close for Clover.
Yeah, and again, and I think it just comes down to having proper preparation, right? I mean, if you look here, and I'll keep touting, honestly, because I know, we get 100 likes on this, and I don't know if there's anybody else posting sticky notes like this, but, here it is right here, offering, yuck, definitely a bad one, right? But we still like the long back to, through 7, so we talked about that. Let's find a bottom and then hold, right? So, I mean, it's exactly what we wrote here on our, and I'll put that out so you guys can, some people say they can't read my writing, and yeah, I sometimes can't read my own writing. But there's Clover right here at the bottom, and that's exactly what we let it do. Excuse me. Take that bid right there, 680, 682 or so. Again, the pre-market low. We took this, just trying to hold it to see where it was going to go. Small amount of shares, didn't put any risk in that. We even talked about it. Like if your normal position size was 1,000 shares, I even said it live on the show. Take 100 for this position. And then this is where we wanted it to happen, right? So again, on bad news for Clover, we've seen Peloton today, just go right to the upside. So here's Clover, right? Comes back in, and then right there, like I was watching it the whole time. As it was coming in, it made that bottom. Look at all this. Boom, 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 boom. Look at all of this red, right? Obviously overextended, in my opinion, to the downside. Kicks out new levels. We've never seen this low for Clover. Makes that bottom, gives me that wick bottom. So right now, I know that 665 is going to be a level of concern for me. So I down ticket a couple pennies, give it to 650, something like that, and we put on a serious position right here. Then, obviously, we get a little lucky here, and it's followed by basically no red candles. We had one test to reload. Obviously, we're not going to reload this because we're already in it. So boom, we haven't even got out, so no reload necessary. Then it just starts taking off, man. 66, our first out here. I mean, look where we even get it out. We don't even, this is how confident we were on this trade. We start getting it out right back at this level. So, it's like, screw you, Clover. Get it out, get it out, get it out. Starts coming back in. We start to think maybe we're being a little bit too greedy with it. Then it starts to climb. We get back out at the same level again, 85, get it out at 90, and now we're still holding as, whoa, I didn't even see that. I guess, yeah, that's right when 130, 140 hit. Wow, Clover up to 716. Okay, that should have been taken out. But right now, we still are holding this Clover trade. No real idea. Obviously, now we're going to use 7 to 15. If we can get back up there, we'll take that. But 40 cents in the money on Clover. And that just goes to show, man, proper preparation, and you should be able to win. So that's a good trade for me on Clover. Another one, man. We only have one red name today, and it's Rivian. And we've explained that, and we've done a lot to make that money back. So far, so good on the day trade. Clover is just another one.
Yeah. While Sean, you were talking about trades that you, I guess, made throughout the day. I'm looking at the one trade that I feel like I should have had a trade somewhere here because the market moved aggressively. I'm talking about the futures here. This is a futures chart, 5 minutes zoomed out so we can see the entire structure of the setup today. And I knew 74, 75 was an area, right? I was just worried about being stuck in this range between 85 through 88, call it 90 even. So looking for prices and setup somewhere below 75, preferably 74 going on down. This market just kind of tapped it and took off. That trade, missing that trade is fine because you have a structure in place knowing that if we kind of got through 90, it might open up a little bit. I'm thinking right here, after we got through 90, I have to look at this chart a little bit more. I feel like there's a trade here that I missed. After you got through 90, like the way I'm looking at the chart, I should be able to declare that 85 going on down should have some support, some resistance that I can find a setup to work with. And what does this market do? Kind of taps this 86 area, close enough to the 85, and then takes off again. I feel like there's a trade there. So be aware that going forward, when I come on tomorrow morning to give you guys futures levels, this 65 is definitely going to be in place. As long as this market stays where it is, I'm probably going to give you guys 80, somewhere close to 85. And depending on how we close today, there might be another level up in the 4,700 area or not. It all depends on how we close. But be aware that now that the market has opened up, a great thing as a trader, when things open up, it provides opportunities for another day. So we're going to leave that alone. And let's jump on to another trade I've got right now. Microsoft. You know, when you go long with the futures, or you want to be long with the futures, then you kind of miss out. You kind of start looking at the index names. The index names start to push the futures, right? Because they're waiting. Microsoft is at the top of the list, along with Apple. So when Microsoft is sitting here at 340, and after having hesitated before 340, and then getting above and staying, yeah, I think I want to participate in this long. This is a great long. I don't mind being long here. I'm out like 4 or 5 cents right now, but 340 long with the 338 stop, I think, 339 stop. So it's not even that far down. It's sitting just below this kind of consolidation point. So in the event that the market takes off, and the futures are kind of like somewhat taking a break right now, they're sitting around 47.05. If this market were to take off, it's going to go with these names along the way. So this is going to be one of those names. Microsoft is going to be one of those names. So we're participating in that. AMAT's coming off a little bit. This was just another name I saw. I thought we got above 158.50 decently. We're hesitating at 159. I might just cut this soon, though, and walk away from this trade. And the other one was SPLK. It looked good. The reason why it looked good, look at that sell-off, right? Complete sell-off yesterday. And then here we are going sideways. Looked like we got above some decent activity here. What was it? It was around 141. And then we bounced off the 142. So I just grabbed that trade off the 141. I'm starting to think that there's some more volume that is coming in at 141 now. So if this fails again one more time at around that 141, I might just cut this trade and walk away. And of course, HUT, that's one of those trades we were carrying from this morning that is just kind of gone and waiting to get either stopped out or I run out of time. I'm not going to cut this trade in the event that you get lucky enough that it comes back in. But for the most part, it's in a dead zone right now, meaning there's nothing I can do. I can take the hit, but it's not the right place to take a hit. Just either let the stop go off or wait for the market to kind of come back in a little bit. What I did notice is Roblox, RBLX, is actually breaking 116. So that's something to keep an eye on. Neil?
Yeah, so like I know a lot of people are talking Fisker here. There is a volume spike, and look, check down icon. There isn't any news that's coming through the pipe, but you will see some chatter on social media discussing this volume breakout on Fisker through the high of the day, 2280, churns through 23 even, already through some significant levels on the daily chart as is. You can see here it already powered through the multi-day high breakout earlier in the day. Now, obviously, the EV space has been a big boomer, and this has just been another name that's benefiting from that. As we say that, it did pull back in here, back into that 23. So it looks like it got about to 23.5 and then pulling back. Nothing on the wire yet. Possible that someone is getting ahead of something, who knows? I'm not going to be speculating, but big volume spike on Fisker, breaking through some all-time highs. So just yet another, not all-time highs, breaking through today's highs, and just another name in the EV space, which is doing an unbelievable amount of volume. 6.5% to the upside. It just feels like this entire space is booming here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I've been just a supporter of 3 EV names. You guys know the ones. I've already put them there in the chat. It's been Ford, it's been Fisker, and it's been Tesla. I'm not in anything else. I mean, obviously, with today's day being Lucid Day, I wish I was in some Lucid, but look at Fisker, man. It continues to work to the upside. I get people asking me all the time about these kind of plays, and there it goes again, man. Another win for us here on Fisker today as we're taking out all-time highs one more time on FSR. So, yeah, do we like this name? Yeah. We don't like it. We love this name. So Fisker, we'll see what we can do here. But so far, so good on this. I don't want to get anything out of Fisker. We're long about $16, $17 right there. I mean, it was an average, but that's where we got in. So we actually had some up here, sold some, got back in right there on that break. And I trade in the long-term account very similar to how I trade here. So any kind of breakouts like that, we take. And then, normally I would have got some out right around here. I remember I was actually trying to, and then it came back in. And we can't trade anything while we're on the show, but right there, Fisker, a nice move to the upside. And I think it just continues to go. Someone also asked me about Ford there today as well. Will Ford, continue its move up? due to the stake in Rivian. I mean, yeah, the answer is yeah, they have 12% of Rivian. So as Rivian continues to climb, so does Ford, right? Obviously, it's not as, prolific as Rivian's movement's been up to the upside. But Ford already had that bump with Rivian coming to market. Obviously, it is part of this price. But we're long Ford as well, man. $6, $7. Then our last one was $13.30, which at that time was a break rate into here. So that's like what we talk about. As soon as you break key levels, we've been pairing off on all of these except for Fisker. And then, of course, I've never paired off anything on Tesla. I just checked today. I'm up 900% on Tesla, which is crazy. I mean, a lot of you are probably up even more than that. I think this continues to work. For me, if Tesla does break back down below 1,000 one more time and you do have the opportunity to get out, I think that's not a bad idea to get out of some of that if it does break one more time. But last time we held at 975. So far, so good here with Tesla as well.
Yeah, I noticed Dominic put a super chat in about talking about naked brands or NAKD. It is bouncing. It bounces quite well, actually, after falling apart from close to $1 all the way down to 66 cents, 64 cents. Now it's starting to bounce off. You can see this. This is a 30-minute chart going back into the 22nd of October. I'm sure there's more data, but this is how far back I'm going. And you can see where the majority of the trading is happening, right? Between 70 cents and about 64 cents. And now we're getting above that break. What I would keep an eye on, though, as we're trading higher past that little range that we're stuck in, keep an eye on 75 through 80. It seems like on the way down, we hesitated quite a bit from 80 going on to 75 before we actually kind of gapped down and got below 70 cents. So keep an eye on when we go back up, that 75 through 80 might be a problem in terms of volume. Once you clear 80, I think there isn't a whole lot stopping you from going back at least into 95 or so. Keep in mind, that's like a 15-cent trade, but that's the thing with these like low price names, super low price names, sub-dollar names, you can take a ton of shares. So you don't need a $50 winner. You can take a 1 cent winner, 2 cent winner, and make a ton of cash. So just be aware that there is some resistance here from 75 up to 80. We are starting to respect that level as well. Let's just take a quick look at what this looks like on the level 2. You can see this here. You can go sub penny when to get below $1, right? You can see the spread here. It's 0.735 by 0.7365. So that's the kind of game you can play. You can play in between the penny just to see if you can actually capture the spread, make half a cent, make a quarter of a cent, whatever the case is. You can play that game. So just be aware that there's some volume and a lot of people are willing to play. It's done 100 million shares from what I can see on our system, and that is after our servers came online. I can only imagine how much more was done before our servers came online. So for now, it does look like, apart from Naked and Roblox, which was falling, is it still falling actually? Is it oh, it's still going.
17,
yeah.
Wasn't it? What is it now?
It's at 150.
Ooh,
it's down below 150. It's at 114.79. So someone's taking some profit, and this is exactly what I was kind of looking at for these names that have been moving quite well. So now it backed off that 120 and into the 115s, 116s. Profit taking has somewhat, I guess, started, it seems like. Keep an eye on this. This is a good thing, because if it were to go back towards 120, that could actually be a good long. Because this is now out of the way and we can actually extend to the upside. So Roblox, keep an eye on that. Mark off some levels. Maybe we can use it today, maybe not. We'll have to use it tomorrow, but whatever the case is, that's one to look at as well. The other name I have to look at, if Roblox is gonna do that, you've gotta look at Qualcomm too, right? Qualcomm has started to hesitate a little bit around 180, a little bit more hesitation, and maybe you can activate some shorts here as well, just to look forward to maybe some profit taking. What I would be concerned about, again, is the angle of movement, which makes me think maybe the programs are sitting somewhere closer to 177 in terms of support. So just be aware that if you were to go down, I would expect some support from some program-related buying. If not, this market's going to fall apart on Qualcomm. The stock is going to fall apart, but the market as a whole seems to have a decent amount of support for now. Seems like 4,700 is going to hold well. So even though a drawdown, another 4 or 5 points, should still be sitting at some support. So we'll wait on that and see if we can grab some more trades, because I've still got my 2 longs and my 1 short. We're just waiting for them to move.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Thanks, Metacom. They're talking about the Lucid short. I mean, it just made sense up there. I was a little bit nervous because it was multiple days here that we had to worry about with this trade. Or sorry, not multiple days, multiple levels there with this trade because it hit. Sometimes, 4 or 5 times at the top. A little too much many times. But this time it turned out to be okay for us. So really happy, obviously, with the way this is turning out. We are now 50 cents clean in the money. We did take $1, so we're going to wait to see. I think the day might be done here. The dream might be over for Lucid for today. Here, I just see somebody here on Ride. A big shareholder sold 3 million shares of Ride just now. So, I mean, why would you do that? Let's go, Ride. I'm just waiting for the chart to load up here. I don't know where the block print is here. Maybe it's a couple of these prints. I don't know where the 3 million shares is. That's only 180,000.
Probably the big green one. Probably the big green,
This?
but yeah, probably.
No, it's only 200,000. It was a block trade, so maybe it doesn't show up in here. But again, talk about one stock like a Lucid and another one like Ride. So Lordstown just continues to get beat down here near its bottoms. Really happy that I'm not holding the bag on this one. Like I said, I've just been a proponent of Fisker since 12 bucks. You guys know that. Ford and Tesla. So wow, Ride right now could get picked up. I mean, look, if we're going to give a lot of love to EV space, you could put the line right there at the bottom. The bottom of this is 580, or what is it, 480, sorry. 480 bottom. You're not too far away. So if you want to take a little bit of a shot here on a $5 stock, you buy a couple thousand shares. I mean, worst case scenario is it goes down to 480. And you get out if it breaks the bottom. You just hope that it doesn't break the bottom as you're sitting there waiting for the stock. So, I mean, if that happens and you're able to get out, then there's going to be no problem there. So I actually don't mind this play, although, they don't have the Dream Air. I mean, the Lucid Air won Car of the Year, right? So we'll wait to see. Obviously, Workhorse is another name, WKHS. That's just been, like $7 for Workhorse. Wow. Another name that's almost, I was going to say, almost looks the same as Ride, because it is the same as Ride. Let me just update the chart here, and we'll get another look. But it's going to be a downward move. Ever since they lost the postal deal, it hasn't been nice for them all the way to the downside. And again, with Tesla making trucks, Rivian making trucks, right now, I don't know what Workhorse's future is. Maybe they have to get bought out, but who's going to buy them, right? Ford, GM, all these are already doing their own thing. So right now, Workhorse looks like it's going to be a struggle for a while. Both Ride and Workhorse near the bottom, Fisker and Lucid near the top.
Yeah, somebody was asking about PLBY, Playboy. It was a trade I had this morning, actually. I just kind of messed up my management of the trade. 36 long, it went $1 against me, came back up, went $2 in the favor. And then as it came in, I was worried about double topping and volume. So I got out once, and then I kind of just like, you know what, I'm going to just get it all out because the spread was like, 20 cents. I was like, get it all out, and here you are, 40.71. So the setup on this, and this is what I was looking for. I'll just go through what I was looking at when I took the trade, because I imagine it wasn't as obvious when you look at it. It's this here, even though we're well past it, it's the fact that we cleared this 33.5, 34 area, and then we kind of took 36. By the time we saw it, it was already at 36, but it had decent support around 35, so why not? I'll pay the difference. I'll pay 36, and that's a read here, 36, and then the stop was going to be down here. So for me, it was worth the shot to take that, and that's exactly what happened here. Management of that trade, that's a different story, though. As it approaches, what is it, 41 now? Oh, lovely. So here it is. Could have been $4.75 at this point.
Don't you love trading equities, Arun?
Yeah, right. And then somebody was asking about PROG, P-R-O-G. Be aware of this $5 level. Everyone's been trying to hit round numbers because it worked down at 4. So now everyone tried to hit 5 and got absolutely destroyed. So be aware when we come back up to 5, make sure it's willing to trade up there, not just peak above and come right back in as people try to try to play in front of a round number, try to play these breaks, whatnot. Just be aware that we've had issues earlier today around this 5 even, because there's volume waiting there, waiting to take any bids coming in, and willing to flip this market. Now it does look like it's kind of marching back up towards 5, so it could be a different take this time around. But I would still be careful given what's already happened one time. It's late in the session. We've got just over an hour left before the day is done. And here we are near the highs for the day at a location where we've had some problems. So just be aware as we get closer and closer to 5, Yes, it's marching, but there has been problems earlier today, so I have to respect the fact that 5 may provide some resistance once again.
Yeah, I'm short, so I mean, I just looked at that, and again, guys, thanks for all. I got a lot of love there on Twitter about this initial play early where we took this long and got it out at that 5. Like you said there, Arun, a lot of people probably trapped up there. So we'll just try it one more time, man. If you break above 510, we'll get out. This is going to be a small one. We've already hit this at 420. We really should have hit it down here once it broke some of the pre-market highs. Like this was a good trade, 410. I mean, the fact that we have 425 or whatever it was, not that much difference than 410, but I really think a pre-market break there on Prague did make the most sense. So this is a very, very baby short. This is like 5%, or not 5%, about like 10% or so of the trade. This position here is not a big one, but it's about 30% or so of my initial holdings. So we'll wait to see if it comes back in. I do have a bid down here, 475. Did I hear you there, Neil? Nope. Okay.
To me here a second, just because there was this stock, this PC. I'm just looking at Pure Cycle right now, and they did have a bit of a volatility halt, a monster volume spike just earlier on, maybe like 15 minutes ago, and a secondary push to the upside right now. And look, just obviously a big runner here, and it popped up on a volume scan. It's actually looking like it might want to make a bit of a second leg. It's only up 12% now, but this just happened moments ago, like 15 minutes or so ago. You had a dollar move, pull back into 12.25, and now looking like it wants to retest those highs. I'm sort of with you. I mean, anyone that watches, you probably can guess that I'm the only thing I have on myself personally shorting Prague in front of that level. But Arun's at 100% right. Like that 5.0, forget about the $5. There's a 5.10 level on the daily chart. So I think you could trap some longs on a 5 break, which is why I kind of like the short up here. But keep an eye on this PCT, only 12% for now. One of the few names that actually hits our trade ideas momentum high of the day scanner, and looking like it's still doing a little bit of volume.
All right, Rivian. Wow. Okay, so we're still holding this Lucid. This is still 40 cents in the money. I'm waiting for an epic drop. I mean, if it takes this out, we'll get out at 55 if it wants to break that. We do have 5 cents in the money on, or 10 cents or so in the money on Prague. I do have a bid right now at 77 just to get out. If it comes back down, we'll try to take like 15, 20 cents, and then we'll hold hopefully for somewhere around here. It's funny that it bounced right at the spots that we were, initially long. So maybe that was something upside there on Prague. We'll have a quick look on that. Clover back through 7, so that's making some move. What's up, Randy? And other than that, man, Rivian. That's what it was. Rivian right now. Amazing, man. Randy, we could have bought this at 106 4 days ago. It's now at 170. So there it goes, man. And I know you're out of your Ford, but we're still in Ford. Ford obviously has a stake in Rivian. So does Amazon at 20p. So, I mean, you're going to take out this 170. I think this is a good short into that 170. I'm already short Lucid, though, right now. This may break higher. I don't know. We've been doing really well in Lucid. It's my trade of the day. It's my best name all day today. So we're really happy with, obviously, the performance here on Lucid. But with that being said, it has come back in a little bit, and it didn't go down. But Rivian, I don't know, Arun, what your opinion is here, but we are very, very close. Like I said, this is now, it goes back to that breakout video that we just did, right? We're breaking out past now all-time highs. So there's nothing up above this. 170, we've already had that data point. So already reached 169.80 as your high of the day. So you're about $1 away from that. I think this is probably worth a short now on Rivian. And then you can hold it $1.50 against you. I'm going to do that. It's going to cost me nothing. I'm having a pretty huge day right now. So we'll wait for this. We're going to go short now on Rivian. We'll use the 170 as our out.
What's interesting is that I'm actually considering doing the opposite. I'm actually considering the possibility, because what I'm seeing based on the way it's trading is that this might actually take a run at 170 just for stops.
Yeah,
so I'm considering going long. So as long as we can get carried momentum, as long as we can get some trading volatility and volume through 169, we might just go right to 170. And I imagine 170 is going to be a big round number with a lot of volume that's going to be traded in front of it. And if that doesn't work, everyone's going to try to get out. So what I might just do is go long and then try to get out as it breaks 170 with everyone trying to cross up and trying to get out of their position. So let's keep a close eye on this.
You could have done it right there for $1 about.
For what? The long?
Are you in it?
No. I'm looking at the long. Like this, the dangerous thing about this is that if it doesn't go, you're screwed. The bottom falls out and it just completely.
But it's the same way you could have your out, though, right? I mean, if you went long, maybe your out would be right here, like 1 167 or so, 166.50, something like that. Here it goes. We're going to average one more trade here, and we're going to take it through 170 and give it a little bit of a burn and see how high it goes up. But like Arun said, like I'm short now 54s, right? So that's what I meant by you could have just had $1 the other way. If I just punched long instead of took the short, we'd be in the money 80 cents right now. So we'll wait to see where it goes. We'll see. I'm waiting to get more short ahead of 170, so we'll see if we can do that. I don't know if there's size. Let me just zoom down here and see if we can't see some size. Nah, the books, I mean, right now it's showing nothing at 170, but that's because the book feeds are all used. So as we come up to 170, you're going to see a lot happening. We're 64 million shares, and then there's Lucid as well. So Lucid, yeah, Lucid. See, so this is the problem. We're short again here on Lucid. We do have our out to get out on the high side if it does fail, but now we're short Lucid and short Rivian. This could be spicy. Meet the ball.
Yep, and there I go, looking for this move on Rivian, see if we can't jump on board before 170 goes. You got to keep a very close eye on how this trades,
It's
right?
Break
The spread is 20 cents, and if this were to take off either direction, this is going to go get really aggressive. So keep a very close, tight stop on this. There's no levels. This is completely based on what I'm seeing on the level 2 now. I could be wrong, and if that's the case, I'll just get out very quickly as fast as I possibly can. Not just yet. We're going to wait and see how this trades. Sean, what are you doing with Lucid? What's happening there?
I'm punching myself in the face for going short, but right now we're fine. It's going to break 55. We're going to get out. So as soon as it breaks 55, we're gone on Lucid. I'm a little nervous because we don't want to be short Rivian and Lucid. However, the Rivian trade is now 50 cents in the money. We'll wait to see if the Lucid can come back in. Our average price is 54.50. I mean, the fact that I'm willing to take it out on a 55 break, I mean, that's going to be a 50-cent hit plus some slippage. So maybe 70 cents if we get 55.20s or so. Hopefully, it doesn't blow too much past that. But here comes right back down our average price, 54, you can see 54.58. So I am bidding in the 50s just to get out, to get some out anyways, a third of it out, and try to absorb some of this. But right now, man, wow, we are near these highs. I mean, here's Rivian. It's in the money for me, but again, just teetering. It did go down to 167.75, which would have put me in the money. Well, did put me in the money 80 cents, but right now it's looking like, I mean, I think this takes it out, man. Lucid's bounced up to 50. There it is. So there's Lucid. So we're out. So there you go, right? So we're out of Lucid there. Probably the next one to go is going to be that Rivian, but okay, and it comes right back down. So it's shoot. It was a false break, obviously, there on Lucid. So we'll have to see what we're going to do now with it, but false break on Lucid up to through 55 there. There's the tankage. Wow. So again, we just got taken out there on the top. Unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. And then there's the tank. So I'm actually going to say it was a pretty good idea. We just didn't hold it long enough. And there's the move right back down. So Lucid, wow. Big time movement to the downside. Tricked ya on that one, says Lucid.
Yeah, so did Rivian.
What's up, Neil?
Yeah, I tricked everybody. I got stopped out there when 55 broke, so a bit of a move there. I see some people talking about IONQ in the chat there, and they got a price target raise from Craig Hallam up to 26 from 20, and it's saying basically hold my beer because you have a double top right now, high of the day sitting just underneath that $26 price target. This one up 30%. There's a lot of movers here. IONQ just another one of them, and looking like it wants to break that price target. The crazy thing about it is we had just in the review talked about why the 55 was more important than 54.5, taking breakouts going into even dollar numbers, and I myself didn't let that failed break come through. Sometimes getting back in on a failed break is the way to go. So a bit of a miss there on Lucid, but watch out for this IONQ possibly taking out highs and hitting that price target already.
Yeah, so go ahead. I mean, I should have taken, Rivian there. We went way in the money, man. 168.50. It touched 166.50. So that was another $2 win for us there on Rivian that we didn't take because we had to manage Lucid. Hey, Rob, can you see what this needs to be moved, whatever this wire is, or else the whole thing's coming down. Okay, so we'll watch out for, or maybe Maggie can, as Rob's doing the board. 166.50 or so. I think we can get out of some Rivian now. We'll see what we're going to do. We did go back long Lucid, guys. So we went back long Lucid. You can see what we have now, 54.01s, 50 cents in the money. We may take this 50 cents right now on Lucid and then see where we go. But yeah, back into the long, maybe a failed break to the downside there on Lucid. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, so Sean was shorting Rivian. I was going long Rivian. One of us was bound to lose, and it looks like that was me. it held 169. It looked like there was decent volume, and then it kind of just came right through. So obviously on this trade, I was risking about $1. I lost $1. $1 and change actually. But if I was right, I'd be well above 170, so I'd make more than the $1 that I put up in risk. It's a shot. It's not like other technical setups, because at this point you have to base it on volume and how things are moving, and psychology as well too, right? Like Lucid, people were playing that even round number at 55, complete reversal, a little break and then complete reversal, and then it fell what, $1.50 and change? So that's at some point you have to kind of, yes, trade the setups, but then you kind of let the setups go and trade the psychology, because it does make a big difference, especially as you come in towards the end of the day, because you know certain things have to be done. Stocks that have been running do need to take profit. So why not take a look at some stocks? Rivian, on the other hand, has really kind of absorbed some selling and was moving on back up. So that's why, for me, I was looking for the long versus the short. Another stock that's continuing to go, Piton, up 14%, sitting near daily highs, and here just bounced off that 54. So now that might be one of those trades that continues as well. But we are looking at the market in general. Let's take a quick look here. As it comes down to 47.02, 47.03, there's some support here. My concern is if it broke 4,700, what happens? Because there's really isn't a whole lot until like maybe you could argue mid 90s. That's only 5 points away, but I would say closer to low 90s, which is 10 points away before we get some real support on this market. There isn't a whole lot stopping this thing from actually getting down there. But if that were to happen on the futures, you might see some selling across the board, including the big tech names, so Microsoft, all the index names, right? Microsoft, Apple. So keep an eye on those names, especially the ones that are up a lot today.
Neil, what's up?
Guys, the tattooed chef here, looks like they're going to miss their 10Q filing deadline for the quarter, this quarter ending the 30th. So obviously third quarter, they're going to miss that deadline. You're going to see them drop a full $1 here on that news just now, making some fresh lows right into, and again, on flash news, guys, this is one thing you should always try to do. Look, when in doubt, zoom out, go to the higher time frame. It fell like a rock right into this level on the daily chart here, about that 1550. Still looking under pressure, but there was a bit of a bounce when initially the news dropped, and for a couple of minutes, it was just all panic breaking loose. Like, you're going to miss a filing. That is not going to be good news for the tattooed chef. It's only down 4% because it was getting bought up going into an earnings report and was actually trading pretty nicely up on the day. Catching a bit of a bounce here off that level on the daily chart, but yet another mover going into the close. This one actually heading downside.
All right. Yeah, just looking here, trying to make some trades. Okay, so Lucid, we actually got some out there at 40. So we take a 40 cents back on that, as you guys saw that we lost initially on that trade. So yeah, trying to make a little bit of that money back here on Lucid. I'm still going to hold for a 55. Hopefully it can get back up there. We'll see if it tests one more time up there near that 55 level. So that's something that I think we should look at here and get a little more aggressive and see if we can hold this down through 53 there on that wicked out bottom right down there. So we'll see if that can hold. That's going to be not Prague. That's going to be Lucid. And then on the Prague tip, we actually got the bid that we wanted on Prague. So we actually got that 77 there, like we talked about it. So I think that's going to be hopefully a good out for us. We got out of 2/3 of our trade down there. It does tick as low as 465. We're still waiting for that 510 to crack there on Prague. So if that does happen, we'll try to get out of some Prague. But for right now, we'll try to hold that short in for that name. Rivian looking pretty good for me here, as Rivian making moves to the downside, made that move to 166. We're still in the money about $1 here. Oh no, not now, it's 40 cents. But Rivian still trying to make a move. I'm still looking at that 170 as a breaking spot. It was just too much chaos there when we had all that breaking, and then we had Lucid breaking, and then so on and so forth. So we'll try to hold this Rivian, see where it goes. Now I would have taken it out there right back at this level. So we'll see if we can retest 166 and then talk about getting it out there for another $2. But so far so good on this trade. Our Lucid trade is kind of just doing nothing, 25 cents in the money and just battling around this 54.25 area.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that I actually got back into Rivian. I think I realized that I made a mistake with, well, not mistake. At the time, it was fine. But the more I look at the volume, I'm like, you know what? The trade is still on. That break towards 170, that read that I had, I'm still perfectly okay with it. I just got out as soon as we took out 168, found some buying. Now I'm back on. I'm pretty much where I got out. So now we're up 83 cents, but it doesn't mean anything though, because unless this thing takes out 170, this trade means absolutely nothing, because that's the move that I'm looking for based on what I'm risking at this point. It was initially $1, but now the more I watch a trade, I'm going to put up another $2, so a total of $3 in risk just to see how this plays out through 170 if we can get that breakout, because if we do, I think we can get a decent move, especially with stops above that round number. It's all a matter of whether can we actually get through whatever volume is sitting there. We can't see what's there just yet because of the books being so far out. But if we get to 170 and we get some volume, there might be a run. And that's the shot that I'm taking based on what I'm seeing, at least from volume side of things. We are waiting. Microsoft coming off, futures coming off, some big names here. Looks like Piton is starting to rotate over a little bit back through 54.50. You can see this now. This is starting to come off. So it does look like stocks that have been running strong for the most part of the day are starting to take some profit. So you might start to see a rotation through a lot of names here. Apart from Rivian, I think for the most part, I might start cutting some losses on some of these other names, just so I can actually focus on the one that actually requires a lot more analysis, specifically because it's based on what I'm seeing on the tape, right? So we'll keep an eye on this and kind of identify. Maybe SPLK, I might have to cut this one soon. And Microsoft seems to have lost that 340, maybe cut that one as well. Everything else, we'll just let it trade.
Yeah, let's let things trade. I mean, new high a day alert there for Playboy, PLBY, making new highs. Man, we talked about this. I remember when we first heard about them going into the NFT game. I think like Playboy and WWE have a lot of opportunities in the NFT space because, again, so many iconic. I mean, for Playboy, it would be issues, I guess they're called. I guess, you know, the Marilyn Monroe, various different things like that they could put into NFT land. And that got it spiked up here. So now Playboy today, I don't know if it was earnings or what. I can't remember what the story is. Neil will come with that when he has it. Obviously, he has it now. We'll just wait to see a refresher on Playboy. But all the way up to $42, up 32% today and kicking. Now just taking out day's high on Playboy. But you could see that would have been a nice break there through 40, 41. It's not really moving. And again, look at the spread. Like if you want to trade real shares, it's 06.93, right? So right there, I mean, it's changing, but you have 10 cents, 15 cents spread as it goes. So, you know, you got to be careful. Like if I buy, unless I'm hitting a dark pool that's in here somewhere in between this, you know, I'm instantly going to be out of the money about 10, 15 cents as soon as I make the trade. So that makes it a little dangerous on that side of things for that trade. But Playboy right now taking out the day's high on that name. You know what? I think I'm with you, Arun, here as it's 3 o'clock. Welcome to the fastest hour on YouTube. And I hope it's not only the fastest, but a profitable one for you. Fisker still up above $23. We're looking at Clover. Here it is, man. That was a good idea, as Clover all day today has been a winner for us. Nicely moved to the upside. I didn't reload anything on this. Not confident in it for the reload, but we still are holding a piece. We'll see if we can get back up to highs. I just want to bring it to your attention. We just cracked through 7 one more time, so hopefully the move is on for that. Rivian, man, you're still just chilling out, eh? So right now, I get what you're saying. I like the break up through 170. Let's just see if it happens. Unfortunately, we got carried away with Lucid, and we weren't able to take that $2 right there, but we're going to try to take it one more time. If it comes in, we'll bid that out and see if we can get a nice little fill here for Rivian back down to 166. I keep hearing the call, but I don't hear anything. Like it. Yeah. There we go. What's up?
There you go.
I was going to say Brampton, but it's Neil. What's up, Neil?
Anytime Randy calls, he just calls it Brampton because we're all from Brampton. Arun's not from Brampton. I still live in Brampton, by the way. But yeah, for Playboy, look, they reported earnings, and it was a bit of a miss on expectations, on EPS expectations. Revenue was a big beat, though. Worth keeping in mind here, though, decent shortable interest, up about 8% on Playboy. And I gotta say this. I mean, when Brendan's doing Brendan's job, I'm filling in, of course. One of the rules of thumb is if he brings out a bit of a banger and you get a volume spike or something making a move in the morning like we talked about with Playboy, a lot of times you want to go back and revisit it. It really has not looked back, now broken through $40, now testing another high here today. The levels on the daily chart, if we get to this 43, maybe in the next couple of days, certainly we're churning through these levels here about 40, 40 and a half. We get to 43, I think that's an obvious resistance point. Strong day for Playboy. Certainly the short interest has something to do with it, not just the possible earnings as well.
That is ridiculous what just happened on Lucid. I honestly, man, I hit offer, enter, and I couldn't, like, that would have to, that, like, oh, damn, that sucks, man. We're going to get out here right now anyways. We're sitting at 55.12 because I kept chasing it all the way down. Just ran away. Fill me at 12. Yeah, buddy, right there. We'll get that. We'll rain the money down. There we go. We make it all back, Arun. So there you go on that trade there for Lucid as it just rips back up, man. We had a mistake in there, but we take the long back again, bang it out there for $1.20. So a nice bid, nice out there for that trade. So pretty happy with the way that's pairing out for me now on Lucid. Unfortunately, we tried to get that 50 there, or 30, whatever it was, 37, 38. We missed that, and then it just runs down. But you got to get out, man. So there it is. The long, there's a couple bungles in there, but Lucid still my #1 stock, and we make it absolutely all back. Our LFT is 0, but we do have position pending right now, and that's Rivian. Rivian finally moving against us. So now I got to make sure that I have the right amount of orders out. Yes, I do. I'm not going to get overfilled, so this is good. So right now, hopefully, if Rivian goes up, we'll test a spot here near 170, and then we'll see what happens at 171. My out is going to be 171. So there we go. So we are now short again on this, and there it is. Comes right back in. We'll see if we can take a bid out now on that. We take that short right there, 170. We're nice. On the bid. Bang! There it is, Arun. So right there we go that for you. A nice little, look at that. Right out. Now we're in the money. Another $1.50 on Rivian. We take that short. Adios, amigos. All the way to the downside. What kind of a day are we having? It doesn't matter who's to my right, Arun.
Yeah.
You or Neil. We still love this game, so let's go.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that I actually got out of that long. I gave up on the long. You could see the volume coming in on the sell side, and that was before we even got to 170. I just walked away from the trade. It made like 3 cents on a stock like this, and then it took off to 170, and I was like, oh, is this now we're going to break this? And it looks like the answer is no. The volume is there, so you can see it coming in. It's just that it slipped a little bit back to 170, and now here we are back towards 168. There's a lot of volume coming in on the sell side. I guess it shouldn't be a surprise given the stock's up 12.5% going into the end of the day. So maybe, you know what, time for me to playing the shorts on this stock. I'm done. I'm not playing this. I don't think I want to be involved. Given what I'm seeing here, it's getting a little too confusing. Take my 3 cents on the first one, lose $1 on the first one, take 3 cents on the second one, walk away. I'm done with this. That's actually my biggest loser, my only real big loser for the day. Even though I'm sitting on some other trades that do need to will be hits by the time I get out of them. Specifically now, how are we going to play at the end of the day? I'm looking at Piton potentially on the short side. Piton was working that 54.5, put in new highs, failed. Now I'm starting to think that, you know what? If I'm going to go for these names that are going to be actually to the downside, that I would prefer, let's go with ones that are setting up and not ones that are acting crazy. So Rivian specifically going crazy with 170. Piton might be a better setup for profit taking going into the end of the day. That's the other name, right? I'm going for the names that are up a lot, that haven't really, I guess, taken a real break. Piton looked like it took a break, but then the fact that it's not willing to get past these 54 halves makes me think that we might be buckling in a little bit here. So if we can get back underneath 54, I think I'm going to step in on Piton and see if we can grab maybe like $1 or 50 cents. I'm putting up 50 cents in risk, so I don't mind taking 50 cents in profit if we were to come back down towards 53.5. SPLK, I got to dump that one. That trade's done. That one failed at 140.5, so we can walk away from that going into the end of the day. There we go. That's like an 80-cent hit by the time. No, I'm still working. Okay, and what else we got? We still got to figure out HUT and Microsoft. Microsoft, we're going to leave Microsoft alone. It's going sideways. Sideways isn't too bad. And HUT, well, HUT we've been in all day for the most part, so we're going to wait and see how HUT plays itself out. But we'll leave those two alone, but SPLK I have walked away from.
I kind of just want to update this. If this breaks through 169, we're going to get out because we want to make that dollar for sure. So Rivian on the downside will hold it. If it breaks back through 169, we'll get out. We're only short of 169.70. We didn't wait for 170. So some of you are saying, you know, how did I get 170? The high of the day is 170. So as long as you were somewhere between like anything in 170, you should have got it there. So if you didn't get it, you may want to ask your broker what's up with that, because that 170, it didn't break. So if you're trying to go short, you should have got it there. And if you didn't, then I would find out why you didn't get it. But if you're trying to go long, it didn't break 170. So that's the luck there. That's why I was so excited when that came back down. But wow, we took that profit, and now we'll wait on it. Wow, this has just been, what a great day this has been, man. Lucid's still my #1 stock, and you know that we really screwed up Rivian early. So, but you know, you stay with it. Like I said, this is exhausting. Like we've been on air. Yeah, I got you, Randy. Don't worry about it. I got you guys. 8:30 to 11, tons of trades, and then back right now. So it's been a good day. 169 breaks were out, which may happen very soon on Rivian. What's up, Neil?
Yeah, just checking out another breakout here. ARLO, they had an update on their Q4 earnings guidance that caused a bit of a spike. Just took out a recent high. I also can't believe that which I had forgotten to like the video when I logged in here, different seats, so I'm making some mistakes, but I was the 420th like, which is not as good as 1, but certainly that 420 seems to come out of nowhere. Not a great number to be at halfway through the show, or more than halfway through the show, but certainly it's a little bit of fun to get that 420 number. I know Prad's probably excited about that. Oh, naked brands, guys.
All right, let's go over to Ms. V when we get a chance, because I want to see that pink hair again. I don't know if our viewers have seen said pink hair, so let's throw it over there. I think they got like 2,000. There it is. What's up, Ms. V? Maybe Ms. V can ask for some likes. You want to take the mic now?
Guys, sitting here working on earnings for tomorrow. Board is going to be also busy. Nvidia, Alibaba, and that's right, guys. Please support and smash the like button. We really need your support. Back to you guys.
Yo, what's up, Fat Mac there? What's for dinner tonight? Actually, Marissa called me and she asked as she was shopping. I said, chicken wings? Yeah. And we got chicken wings, baby. This is what we're doing. Like, you know, this is the thing. You know, when you're never wrong when you marry the right person. You know what I'm saying? And so right there, that's what it's all about. Last night we had homemade something. I can't remember what it was. Like a chicken, like a casserole. Wasn't chicken. Like a casserole was absolutely fantastic. So shout out to you, Marissa. Was always taking good care, as you could tell. You know, I don't miss a meal too often, right? So thank you, Marissa, for that one. And that's what's for dinner tonight. What are you guys having for dinner? Oh, Thai chicken wings? Okay. I like the barbecue. Like the barbecue never goes out of style. And guess what? So I live in basically like Little Portugal, like it's very Portuguese neighborhood. And the way that, have you ever had like chicken Portuguese, like
churrasco? Yeah. I've had it.
Fantastic. And there's this place by me, Martin's. Shout out to you guys. Fantastic. They have the best hot sauce, man. It's like a piri, but it's hotter. It is an amazing sauce, so I just doused the wings with those, and Bob is your uncle. We love some chicken wings. Shout out to all my Portuguese paisans out there, but you know, I love Portuguese until it's Euro Cup, because then it's us versus them, and we wait to see where we go on that, as we already know right now who the best players in Europe are. It's been proven by the last Euro Cup. And World Cup coming up soon. We'll see what that's going to happen. Brazil and Argentina, very good. But if you can't tell, I'm Italian. So shout out to everybody out there. What do you got working with right now?
Food-wise, we'll talk about food.
Food-wise, with your trades-wise. What are you having for dinner? Do you already know?
I do, yeah. We're doing tacos tonight.
Woohoo! I think tacos, man. Fire off the hot dogs for tacos, man, because that's a good one. I thought last time you were here it was tacos.
No, it's coincidental. I didn't even realize it was Tuesday. It was,
you do Taco Tuesdays?
No. I didn't realize it was Tuesday. It was just it was one of those things where I'm like, oh, I'm coming in today. Let me just make something that's going to be easy. And it was tacos that just came up. I'm like, okay, tacos it is then. So we're doing turkey tacos, guys. Turkey tacos. Gotta stay lean, you know? So lean and get the protein. So we're going with turkey tacos today. And wings, I actually had wings not too long, a couple days ago, actually. But you know the thing is, though, I had wings, but they were like those rotisserie wings. So not, you know what I'm talking about? Rotisserie wings.
Right, where
they weren't, no, there's no, well, there was sauce on the side, but it was just like,
hey, look,
it wasn't that
chicken
special.
Wing is, you know, legit. So however you add that, that is fantastic. I like the tacos as well. Big call right there. We had Angus beef burgers for lunch for anybody wondering about that. Okay, so unfortunately Rivian, whatever, man. It could have been bigger. Shout out to Brendan.
Dada.
What's up, Brendan? Hope you're doing well, my man. It does break through 169, so we did take it out. Unfortunately, we should have been much better than that, but we waited for that home run. Now let's just make sure we don't have any other stop orders going through right now. All is good, man. Clover's still making that move. Unfortunately, for those of us that are crypto heads, like myself, we just did get a break. We just broke 60,000. So as we were discussing chicken wings, and a big shout out to Team Canada tonight. We will be watching them as they are in freezing cold Edmonton taking on Mexico in World Cup qualifying. So there we go. There's the break right there through 60, all the way to the downside. Nothing like having chicken wings and watching some soccer. So that'll be good. I think it's 8 p.m. start. I saw the other game against Costa Rica. That was a good one, man. Canada is legit, and we will be going to the World Cup. So hopefully I'll be traveling around, and the World Cup is in, no, that's in Qatar. I mean, the next one is going to be in North America.
Okay.
So hopefully we can qualify for some back-to-back jacks there and get going there. So let's go. Yeah, USA women. The Canadian women beat USA at the Olympics. Did we wind up beating Sweden or what? I can't remember, but we actually took out the US women team. So the men's team tied the US men's team. So we'll see what happens when we play them again. So far, so good. Canada's definitely a powerhouse now in soccer in this region. Anyways, I think it's going to be Mexico, Canada, US. Obviously, Costa Rica is always pretty strong. Panama's in there as well. There's a few South American teams. I mean, you guys know that's where soccer lives. So South America, very, very strong soccer nations.
Yeah,
What's Palantir doing? People are yelling at me.
Well, take a look at Palantir, and then we'll come to me.
No, you go. I mean, what do you want to say?
No, I was just going to randomly talk about stuff. But we'll do Palantir. Take a look at Palantir.
You're going to randomly talk about stuff? What are you, me all of a sudden? Yeah, Palantir, a nice big, that's not a burn. I'm saying I
know.
Kill time here all the time talking about stuff. So we just did talk about random stuff there. Palantir, yeah, nice move off the bottom. I mean, I can't be happy with
Rivian's going to 170 if you want to know.
Good. So that was a good out then for Rivian for sure. And also a good out for Lucid as Lucid's back down. We will look at Rivian in a minute, but Palantir's been disappointing for me, man. 22's held, but bad earnings. It was cruising. We were just do. Earnings came, got smashed out. The good thing about Palantir is it's holding. So let's go over to you and talk a little bit about Rivian.
Rivian, well, I specifically kind of just gave up on Rivian. And the way it was trading close, I wanted to play for the 170 break by playing the long, right? I wanted to see if we can't get a flush through some stops above 170. Took a shot, lost $1, took a shot again, got out flat based on the way it was moving, and then Sean grabbed the short there. And here we are kind of creeping back towards 170. I'm not sure what to make of this because there was a decent amount of sell side volume coming in that is now being absorbed and looks like they really want to take a look at 170. Let's take a quick look at the level 2 here. You see it. Where's my volume? There it is. 40,000 shares. It was on the offer. There it goes. So here we are, 170.60 by 170.20. So it really hasn't gone anywhere since we broke 170. So what you have to worry about now is, are they going to bring it back in? Now it's at 170.50 by 59. Volume starting to tighten up. Spread is starting to close. It does look like they're carrying it forward. So momentum now towards 171. There goes 171.
No.
This is the move that I was looking for, but I was looking for this move, 10, 15 minutes ago? It looks like we're carrying now. So there goes 170. It would have been nice to have that long, but hey, you know what? You know how things work out, right? Not great all the time. So we're going to leave that trade. We're going to leave it alone because it got real messy real quick around 168. So that's why we walked away from that trade. Not a whole lot going on. I still got to worry about Microsoft coming back in a little bit now, bouncing off that, 50, 60, 339.60 and change. And the other one is HUT. We've been in all day. So we're going to we're going to leave this till the end of the day. And Rivian's still going. It's at 172. Well, almost 172. It was 171.86 is the high. We're really moving forward on Rivian, and I guess it's not much of a surprise given how much time we spent kind of working in front of 170. It just sucks that I had to get out of this, or I had to walk away from this trade given what I was seeing. And here it is, 172 is gone, and now it's running. So we'll let it do its thing. There's nothing we can do. I'm not going to make another trade on this, so I'm going to kind of walk away from Rivian. Let's look at something else. Futures. Let's take a quick look at futures before we get into the final half hour. We're about 40 minutes out before the day closes out. Half an hour before the imbalances come out, though. It looks like we're right into that support zone here, 4702 into the 4700s. Again, if we're going to bounce, we got to bounce here, because if we crack 4700, this market could really open up here, at least 5 points, preferably closer to maybe 7 to 8, 9 points, preferably to the downside. But for now, it does, as long as we stay above 4,700, it does look like we're going to get decent support on a move back up. And maybe that's what we get. But it remains to be seen. And does look like the indexes are being supported by some of these names that are finally starting to bounce, especially Microsoft. Again, like I said, one of the top 2 names in terms of weighting in these indexes. So Microsoft is starting to bounce a little bit, which is going to help the futures themselves. So see if we can actually get this thing to go. And the other name that I actually want to keep an eye on, Piton. Remember, Piton, if it gets below 54, we can maybe take a short. It is really stalling out. If this move is going to happen, it has to happen, I want to say in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Otherwise, I'm not going to bother taking this because then you have to worry about the imbalances coming out at 350, which will kind of move these names very aggressively. So keep an eye on that as well as we go into the final half hour.
Yeah, I was just looking at the side here on some Lucid trading, and yeah, $55 for Lucid right now, and just bouncing around. And this was actually, it's a good thing too, because I would have got stopped out if I'd held this Rivian short, but that's why we had that out at 169. I mean, you know, we basically saved ourselves from disaster one more time there on that fill. So I think that was a good one. Out, I mean, not disaster, but this was disaster early. Rivian though has been very, very controlled, man. Short, like shorts and out and short. Like these are the last couple trades. Short and out, short and out, short and out, short and out, short, double out there. Made money on those, but by the skin of our teeth. And now you're coming back down. So, so far so good here on Rivian, and it's my only negative stock today. You know what else we've been a little bit embarrassed about was this, man. We called this we had this AMC long, and look how high this thing went up. We got stopped out there. We talked about this. I think it was either on Prad's show or here today live for you guys. But you know, like stopped out there. We took about a 20-cent hit or 25-cent hit on that stop out, but then we just went right back long and then rode this all the way back to the upside where we got out at that time, day's high of 42.25. Obviously, that's not looking the greatest here as 42.25 has came and gone, and now you're actually looking at 44.40 was the high. Now you're back in. So if we can get a little bit of a dip buy in on AMC, we should do that. But again, this could have been the trade of the day. I'm even proud. And the thing is, you guys want to talk, you know, sometimes we only look at positive trades, right? Let me zoom in and do this one for you quickly, because we talked about this live on the show, and this one was kind of simple because, you know, right here, we go long here. Like, first of all, long and out, long and out. Then we take this 41.60. Let me put this over here. We take this 41.65 or whatever this was. Then we take it again at 55. So our average price is 60, right? Gets blown down here. We get out at 25. So average price is 60, out at 25. 35-cent hit, all right? Then we notice that it's completely stopped, and then all of a sudden, what got me out turns into a green candle. So like I'm out of my long on a green candle. That's a problem. We notice that bottom wick, and then I just say, you know what? We'll take a shot. So we get back in at 41.37. So out at 25 there, take it back. So that's 12 cents worth of risk there that ultimately we wound up losing. And then look at my first out, 57. So that's a 37 in, so that's 20 cents back. There's 67, that's 30 cents. Then that is 75, that's 40 cents. Then you go all the way back up here, that's 80, finally to the dollar. So we wound up losing 30 cents or so on this trade, make it back after realizing that we were wrong by getting out. So very similar to what you were talking about there with Rivian, you know, possibly getting back in once you realize, you didn't do it, but the point is that getting back in once you're wrong, that can be a good trade, and that's happened to me a couple times over and over. Let's just check out Prague. And the same thing was right here on Prague, just to the other side. You finally get that wick break, and then look, this candle actually stays red, so it actually closes red. Well, of course it closes red, so that, again, the opposite happens, right? So I was thinking green, but it should be red. So there's a move up, gets you out of your short if you had it. And I don't know if Neil got out there. You didn't have Prague, did you?
No.
I don't know, maybe not. Maybe you got out? Okay, so that's fine. So that's a good example. So here we go. So getting out of that Prague, right, on that wick up, noticing that it stops there, right? That's a stop out wick. Like Neil got stopped out, I would have got stopped out, but I was using 510. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't matter if you got stopped out. It's about learning. Yeah, exactly. So it's taking that trade right there, taking the short. Neil just saying that he's short. Right? We're short this name too. I'll just zoom this back out. You can see it's basically doing nothing. But it's taking these wicks and then hitting them the other way. And it happens right here again. You get a big breakout to the bottom there. It wicks bottom and then starts to take off. So you got to watch out for that. Coined by our friend over there at Trade Ideas. He came on the show and was calling it wick off bottoms. That's actually what it's called. And of course, our great viewers started naming it something else. But that's a wick off bottom and a wick off top. So you can imagine what they're talked about there. But Prague, yeah, some of you guys laughing there. Some people got out at the top as well. But we'll wait for Prague. We actually did it pretty good. We didn't get out on that. Well, we took the short, actually. So there's that wick short back in. And then there it is right there, 476 out. So we'll see if Prague can take out that 510 one more time.
Yeah, and a lot of these names that have been high flyers are actually starting to continue. Surprisingly, they're starting to continue to go. Specifically, Rivian is starting to really move now. Once we cross 170, here we are at 173 on the high. At some point, okay, before I continue on this, there was a mention about what are the imbalances. For anyone who doesn't know, at 350 every day, there's an imbalance that comes out from the U.S. market specifically, well, even North America actually, because Toronto has theirs as well. At 350, you have the NASDAQ and the New York imbalances come out. What does that mean? Orders that need to be completed by the end of the day with an on-close order tag, meaning they're executed at the end of the day. So everyone who sends in the order saying, you know what, close me out at the end of the day, whatever the final closing price is, you have the broker that takes it, or you have the specialist that takes the order, matches it with anyone who's willing to offset it, and whatever is left is published as an imbalance. And we have that feed. We're able to see how much has not been matched. And usually what happens is when that order or those number of shares haven't been matched, they tend to influence the price in the direction of the imbalance as we get closer and closer to the end of the day, to get closer to the official closing price. And everybody gets executed. If you have an on-close order, everybody gets executed on the final closing price, the official closing price from the specialist, which will be whatever your print is at 4 o'clock. So that's what the influence is, why the imbalances matter, because they push stocks in certain directions. Obviously, there's more to it. At 350, at 355, there's a couple updates that can change the name of the game. But for the most part, that's what it is. It's the way that the markets are influenced by orders that are tagged with an on-close order. Neil?
So there's IONQ is obviously moving here, and there's a SPAC, SNII here, just another mover, Rigetti Computing, which is they're a leader in quantum computing. They're going to be combining with Supernova Partners. Nice name for a SPAC. I mean, I feel like you might as well be creative with these. But another volume breakout here, and quantum computing looks like it's in the midst of a bit of a move here. So your SPAC of the day, or one of your SPACs today, this SNII. I'm sort of with you, Sean, on that Prague. There was lots of awesome opportunities. I actually just covered the last of my short, getting on in the day here at about 3:30. But watch out for some of these breakers, guys. Go EV continues to make some moves as well, in addition to this IONQ, which smashed that $26 price target that I put on it today.
All right, we will look at that IONQ there. A lot of breakouts happening right now, especially on that Prague. So, I mean, I'm going to wait and see if it gives it all back. We can chill on that one. So we'll wait. I know Neil got out there, but we'll give it a couple more seconds here, as we do only have, like Arun was highlighting to you guys, 20 minutes before the imbalance locator comes out. I mean, I haven't even hit the like yet, so I'm going to do that right now. Can you guys, I hate looking there, 734 likes. So if you guys can hit that, that would be awesome. Let's see if we can get to $1,000 here today. I have over 22 fills on Rivian and over 38 fills on Lucid. Pretty much all of them right for you guys. Not for you, for me, but hopefully be able to identify some of those wins for you. Let's look for some more names, though. AMD, wow. This has just been such an aggressive name. We try to buy every single dip. Its 52-week high is No. Why do we have this in there? What time is this? 1:30? Hold on a second, guys. I'm just going to go in here and edit this. This is how we do it. Our software, you got to find the time. 1:11. That's 13:30 right here. Where's the bad wick? Right here. 1:34:40. Yeah, that didn't happen. So that's going to be a dark bridge. So I'm just going to put in here 1:50:50. Clean this chart up. Right there it is. So boom. So you can see now AMD just straight love to the upside, man. There's been no, you're breaking out again right now. Look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ starting to take off to the upside right here, making new highs, possibly 16,325. Wow. The NASDAQ up that 1p right now. I mean, almost 1p. And AMD just go, 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 man. This has been just a monster. We've been buying dips every single day off the open. And for some reason, whoa, hello lines. But for some reason today, let's see what it did off the open. We didn't buy any dips. Nah, there wasn't really any. It just took off straight from 930. You did have some action come in. This is not necessarily a dip off the open, but even though it happened at 950, a nice move back to 146 and change. So let's see what we could do for tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, there's really no levels, man. If we get back to 150, maybe there's something there on AMD, but this name just continues to go nuts on the upside, man. This is when, I mean, the call for the year for me was SMH. So that was easy because it was an ETF. I don't think it was easy, but that's the call for the year. 2020 was PayPal. 2021 was SMH. We'll see if it can get loaded. But realistically, you guys have known this, and I think it was one of Brendan's first buys that he made sort of and made publicly with you guys on the show. We were buying AMD, man, $50, $75. I didn't buy any at 100. I was already loaded up, and you can see what's been happening here for the SMH as the one-day call. Here's the call back in January. You can take it back January. It's back down here. 214, you're up to 304. So that's, you know, 150% gain there, $100 on 200. So 50% on the year for SMH. There we'll see. I don't know. I put too much pressure on myself now to give you guys a call for 2022. But PayPal's up 300%, SMH up 50% from that bottom. And then if you just use AMD or NVIDIA instead of SMH, then I mean we're up 200% probably on some of those calls as AMD and Lucid, still looking at Lucid as I look at the board here, AMD and NVIDIA keep rocking and rolling. I think NVIDIA is going to be the biggest metaverse play out there. So I think like if you don't have any shares for, you know, in NVIDIA, obviously it's been really, really super heated here since it split, which was what I just zoomed out of. But even just in the last month, this is October 6th, we were $200. Now you're at 300. So this has even moved more aggressively than crypto. And that's the whole point. Like I get so upset sometimes, as you can tell, I'm not that upset, but sometimes I get upset when people are like, well, crypto's too risky. You know, it just moves up like crazy. It is risky. You play some of those, you know, coins that aren't the big guys, there is some risk there. I think there's risk in any asset that you play with, right? I mean, this move, if you shorted this, you're dead, right? And I think there is a lot of risk. Just like if you buy the top, like figure out this is like Bitcoin 70,000. You know, it could drop down 10%, which would be, you know, 310 to 280. Like, would we be surprised if tomorrow Nvidia's at 280? I mean, it'd be a big move down, but could it happen? Of course it could. But all of a sudden, Bitcoin drops 10%, and it's one of the #1 stories, right? So you got to watch out for that. I think if you're going to be in crypto, you got to be a little bit, you know, risk tolerant there for some of those hits. So, anyways, Nvidia keeps moving to the upside. Tesla runes still at 1050, man. Your naked brands, I don't know if you think you got into that, but that's at 75. And then someone said to me, "What about SoFi?" I looked at my account before the show, and I was like, you know what? Should I just get out of SoFi? Like, I mean, I'm long 17 and change in here. We first initially bought it on this dip down, and we bought 19s. I remember that. And then we also tweeted out that we bought it down here, giving us an average price of 17. I think it's 17.60, something like that. And then, you know, I tried to get out here and I didn't get filled. One day, I think I put my order at 24.50. It only hit one day and it wasn't there. I probably put it this day. So a couple of days ago, we tried to get out. Now it's back down. I'm a little bit nervous about this SoFi play. So those of you guys that are asking me, it reminds me a little bit, and I hate to say it, because DraftKings was a great call for me to get out at 62. But, you know, SoFi looks very, very similar to DraftKings. We tried to go back up, failed. Now you're starting to like move to the downside, right? And I hate to say that because DraftKings got chopped in half when this happened. And I know DraftKings is a little different than SoFi, but it's not that much different. It's a new space. I mean, new space, kind of. What they're trying to do is new, but DraftKings is new. And look at that. Here's DraftKings trying to get up. And of course, you did have some higher highs of 74. But once it kept failing at these highs, there's the move back down. So if you look at DraftKings and you sort of overlay it with SoFi, obviously, so DraftKings will be up here, but you still have the same kind of move where we tried to break, and now I feel like we may be starting to fade back down. So I'm a little bit nervous about this SoFi position. I think if we crack 20, I may just take some out and see if we can reload back near our average price of 17.
All right. Before I had talked about imbalances, right? I want to get more into it because we're getting closer and closer. I just closed out my Microsoft position. I'll talk about that and then I'll get into imbalances. Microsoft, it popped a little bit off this, what is it, 339.60 or so back into the, looks like 340.20. Hesitate a little bit. I'll take my, what was it? I think I made like 10 cents on the trade total. I'm okay with this. I don't know how the imbalances are going to come out, so I'd rather just walk away given how much hesitation we're getting from Microsoft. The futures are bouncing off this 4,700 mark, so that's a good sign for an upside move. So for now, we're just going to walk away from some of these index names just because of the strength in the futures. We'll leave that alone and move on to something else. HUT is the only position I've been carrying all day off the open, actually, and we're going to hold on to this until we get to the end of the day, at which point I'll walk away from it as well. Back to the futures. For us, this is what the futures looks like. You can modify in certain ways. These are the information that I have, or this is the information I've put up. You have the symbol, you have the side that the imbalance is. Keep in mind, all of this data is from this morning. We haven't gotten the update for 350 for the closing imbalances just yet. So we are waiting for that update to come in. And when it does come in, you'll see all these figures change. Based on the way it looks this morning, it's a good example because I can actually show you what it looks like with the data, right? So you have the symbol, you have the side that the imbalance is coming in, how much is left to be paired, meaning how much still needs to be matched, and how much has already been matched. So in this case, NCLH has a sell side imbalance of 438,000, of which 180 plus on top of that, 185,000 has already been matched with another buyer. And then it's coming from New York with the time. So when you get this information, you get it at 350 and then you get another update at 355. Sometimes what you're going to see is that the numbers are going to change directions, or the side is going to change directions. So 438 sell in this case might turn into a buy of 100,000 or whatever the case is. And when that happens, you're going to see each name, whatever the imbalance is for that name, move in the direction of the imbalance because it goes with the pressure that's applied because it needs to go into the close. So keep an eye on this. Now, we have access to this at DTTW, but for you guys, if you guys need it, I would, if you guys want to have access to it through DTW, then I would imagine talk to your brokers. I'm sure someone has it somewhere. I'm sure that information is out there. For us, it's just processed like this, and we get live feeds as soon as they come out. So it's all out there. It's just a matter of does your broker have access to it, and can they provide it for you? And I'm sure most of the answers are going to be yes at some point. So keep an eye out. If this is helpful for you guys, I would go look for it. Because towards the end of the day, the final 10 minutes, it does get fairly hectic, especially if the name you're in is trading, and all of a sudden at 350, a crazy move happens. Now you know why a crazy move happens at 350, or a crazy move happens at 355, because those are the two update times. And then it's a continuous flow pretty much going into 4 o'clock. Usually they get smaller and smaller, the imbalances do, because more shares are getting matched. So be aware that this has a big impact into the final 10 minutes of the day, and we'll do this live today since I've got one up as we get closer and closer to the close.
Yeah, we'll do it live. We've talked about, great explanation one more time, Arun. And we've said that on the show, like, if there's ever an opportunity for you to talk to your broker, do it and ask for that. I think eSignal actually, I know Arun and I use eSignal charting as well. They do have something for that. Yeah. There's a closing imbalance locator there for them. It's not the same as ours, but, nothing's the same as ours. So we'll do that. And again, the best thing about Day Trade the World is our platform is made by traders for traders, right? And so Arun and I have actually had a lot of, you do seminars on our software, and Arun and I have both had a lot of impact on some of the stuff that the software has in it right now. So that's that. Unfortunately, guys, crypto is falling down. We took a beautiful short here on Ethereum just now. I don't know if this will load up, but ETHE, anyways, look at this move. Tick, 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 boom. So we trade that to the downside. It's still going right now as I just look at Prague. We could take a quick look at the, Oh yeah, 59 and change. 41.80 right now. You can see Ether just dropping right there. We did get out of, oh man, Cardano's back down to 185. I got out of 25% of that yesterday at 195. You can take some out now if you want. Sometimes this is what happens in the markets, right? I mean, you're just going to get a retracement back to the downside. And again, like, these are buying opportunities. But for me, I think you got a high of 48. You're back down to 41. That's almost going to be like 48, give that back, what is it, $400? 44 is 10%. So like a 20% retracement, wow, that's pretty big. So, I mean, it's not there yet, but I'm looking at these levels like 38, that would be 20%. So we'll have to wait to see. It's funny because like, who would have thought Ether 5K, but that is what it hit. So, you know, we can't fight the facts. And now it's coming back down, one bad day there. And again, Ethereum, we did talk about Taproot putting on smart contracts on Bitcoin. So obviously Bitcoin sheltered. No, it's not. Bitcoin down 6.5%. It just took down that 60,000 as well. So we can look at Mara. We can look at Hut 8 is a name I've wanted to get into as well. But there we go. A nice little dip down here. Will Bitcoin this time hold that 57.8? They made a move earlier on today down to 58. We'll see if it can hold it one more time. But there it is, man. 57.8 on the daily chart. The last time we were down here was October 27th. So 3.5 weeks ago, we were down here. We could break lower. I still think that this high holds 53, and I think 50 holds as well. So look out below for Bitcoin. You're going to hear everybody saying like, I told you, but whatever, man. I mean, Bitcoin's up huge, and like I said, it's all relative. Here goes Prague breaking through $5. Congratulations on any of the long as volume picking up on this bad boy.
Yeah, volume picking up on Rivian as well. Look at Rivian. It's still willing to go strong here.
Unbelievable.
After breaking through 170 and getting to 173 and then getting down to 170 again and seeing what was below, and they maintained support. If this was at any other point during the day, that's a long. That's the identity of a long, where you have hesitation, you have a lot of volume that's willing to support this market from going higher. It gets above, kind of stalls out, goes back down, and confirms the fact that this previous resistance is going to hold the support. That's like, I would love this trade at any other point, but with 5 to 10 minutes left before an imbalance comes out. Yes, it's up at 174.5 right now, but all you need is a negative imbalance and this thing's falling apart. Given how much activity has been done, it's done 73 million, almost 74 million shares just on our server since they came up. I'm sure it's higher. The absolute value or the total is higher than that. So you can expect some imbalance volume to come in on Rivian as we get closer and closer to 350. Here we are with about 6.5 minutes left before we get that imbalance. I would imagine there's some volume. People want to get involved, whether it's to the buy side or they want to profit take. Whatever the case is, I would expect there to be a lot of activity on Rivian, especially going into the close. All the names that have been up quite a bit, I expect some activity, but Rivian being the hot name because of Tesla. Everybody wants to participate in Tesla, but now they get to participate in Rivian for much cheaper with more potential, or whatever the case, however they want to justify their long. Keep an eye on this because there will be some movement, especially after we get the imbalances in about 5 minutes.
I did want to, just because Arun and I were just talking about this, I'm going to give a shout out to Next Level Up. This is exactly what it's called, NOII. So if you do have Webull, I don't know if there's a charge, there probably is. Ask them if you could get like a free week or whatever for the NOII. You know what it stands for? Net, I mean, I didn't look this up. This is what I think it stands for. Net order imbalance, no, net
indicator, probably.
Net order imbalance indicator,
probably.
Yeah. Right there. So it got screwed up there, but that's what I believe it stands for. So NOII, great look there, net order imbalance indicator. So you are 100% right, and those will come up in 5 minutes. So we'll look at that. Prague, again, man, we could short it again if we wanted to. We're not going to, but there's the short for Prague. Does not break that exact same level, 505. So we're still in this until it does break. And when it does, we gone out of Prague, as it will take that high, and we'll get out of that trade. So that's Prague looking to make a move. Here comes right now. Let's see if it takes this out. My bid is at 510. So break of 510, we'll be out of this one, and we'll see if it can hold that for now. Maybe I'll just take a short on Prague and see what does happen. Lucid right now still going back up. I hear everyone talking about Rivian. Look, honestly, these trades in Rivian, fine today, whatever. I'm just peed off that I'm not long, because you could see like And again, everybody that's part of our team knows, like before the Rivian IPO, man, we were calling it Rivian Week. I was like, I got to get this one in my account, blah, blah, blah. I love Rivian. This has to be bought. And then the IPO comes. It comes at 106.75 when they priced it at 78. Everybody thinking that that's way too high. Yeah, I mean, you know what? Who's in charge of Coinbase's ripping right now?
Coinbase, Sean.
Yeah, I blame Coinbase too, because again, an upside price offering on Coinbase, the highest day was its IPO day, right? Anyways, Rivian, wow, what a disgusting move. I mean, great move.
It's still going.
Great
oh my
move.
God.
I don't know what's stopping this thing. And the thing is, we were alerted to this earlier, man, when we were talking about Rivian and the valuation, and they were also option eligible on many platforms today. So I wonder if that may have had an impact on this. So there it goes, man. Wow, congratulations, anybody long this name, as you cannot be losing at this point. That is for damn sure.
Yeah, and here goes Rivian at 178. You can start to see how crazy it's getting. Because now it's not even volume, it's just the spreads are opening up big time. So people are crossing the spread, which is larger than normal anyways. And now here it is at 178 and change. So it's getting a little insane. At some point, all this is going to come to an end, whether that's with an imbalance to the sell side, and maybe, just maybe with an imbalance to the buy side, which would make this even go crazier. So that's something to keep an eye on, guys. We're about 3 minutes away from getting that information. Neil, what's up?
No, quickly here, because GoEV has been lagging Rivian, even though it's actually up more on the day, but it's been lagging Rivian. It already had a bit of a top here at 1050, pulled back. Rivian took 175, and on this crazy run up where Rivian just hit 178.5, it's still testing the high of the day and still has a lower high. So I'd be cautious of taking a 1050 break. If Rivian is putting in a parabolic move and pulls back in, if it does like a $2 drop, that could be a heck of a trap there at 1050. I'd put on the Admiral Akbar. It's a trap for a GoEV break, but I think you want to stick with Rivian. If that pulls back in, you'll have to wonder if some of these other names could get dragged back down with it.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, I don't wonder anything anymore about this, because like these things are just off right now. Let's check out Tesla. So I did just punch the long there. So you see we got out and then I punched the long. So we are long right now. Prague, we'll give it back to 495 or so, something like that. If it breaks, then we'll get out. We're just playing around now, seeing if there's going to be a big break that we could just honestly, man, just dun 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 dun. See if, we're going to see if we can just stack up the cash here a little bit more. And if Prague drops out, we'll lose a couple bucks trying this trade. So I don't have a problem with it. We'll see what's going on right here. So the imbalances are coming out very, very soon, and we'll see where it's going to go from here, because, so far so good on some of these imbalances. They've been moving. Today, we'll wait to see where we go. But at 2 minutes left and the imbalances come out. The interesting thing is, when you're looking at some of these imbalances, we can even look at the Qs. The NASDAQ, here goes, starting to make a move to the downside right now. Come on, triple Qs. Oh, and we have a bad wick again on that. So it's going to be very, very hard to see. You see, it's just pushing down. The NASDAQ's up that 1%. We could get a little bit of a blow here to the downside on the triple Qs. Only 1 minute to go. We'll see what happens here. Maybe a sell imbalance. We could take a little bit short here on the triple Qs. Maybe we'll do that and just to see where we go. So there it is, 1 minute. We've taken this short. It's been a nice little move down. This is not a big position. Let's just wait to see. In the next minute or so, we'll get the imbalances and then we'll show them up to you, and we'll have a look to see what this looks like for this trade. But right now, we'll see if it's going to come into play. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Here we go, just a couple more seconds, and then the imbalances will come out in 20 seconds. We'll take another short on, and then we'll just see where we go from here. Getting ready to come out here. Here come the NASDAQ, or here come all the imbalances right now at 350, starting to make a move back to the downside. So far, so good on this. Here they come. In just a couple seconds, we will call it up for you, and we'll have a quick look. Let's see where we go on the sell side or not. So Rivian, whoa, Rivian a big sell. So maybe we got to get over there. Let's just check out what Rivian is doing. Look at this. Look at the movement this had on Rivian, guys. Right down. Look at this price action. 180. Rivian spanked right there on the imbalance. That sends Rivian to the downside and still going. Look at this imbalance. How often do we see this? 3.69 million shares. Boom, right down to the downside there on Rivian, getting accelerated there. Good move. Enbridge with the sell. Intel, forever sell. Intel downside. What else is there? I don't see anything else. And I see Nvidia with the buy. It's more about this Rivian trade. Let's watch this as it continues to make a move to the downside. Down goes Rivian, guys.
Yeah, as Rivian goes, and this is what we were worried about. I mentioned to this, the imbalance will move this market. So keep an eye on this. As we get closer and closer to the imbalances, you see a lot of names are going to be doing roughly the same thing. You saw this directly on Rivian. This is the danger of trading into 350, into the imbalances, because depending on how it plays, if you were to get the imbalance in your side, you're going to get a nice little bump up in the movement. But if we're to come against you, and let's take a quick look, because the only position I've got is HUT. And what was the imbalance? It looks like not a whole lot. It doesn't look like it's going to help my case, because I'm on the short side of HUT, and it doesn't look like I got much of a sell side imbalance to push it deep enough. So we're going to walk away from HUT. That's the only thing that was holding me from getting out of this position. I was either going to get stopped out or I was going to run out of time. It looks like I'm not going to get help from the imbalances, so I will just run out of time and we'll just bid our way out of this. And there we go. We're out. Now I'm flat. Now I can walk away from this trade and be happy about the fact that, you know what? I mean, it's a loss, yes, but I can be happy about the fact that we're walking away. Rivian, sell side imbalance. Now here's what you've got to keep an eye on. It was a sell side imbalance, right, Sean?
Yep, big time.
Okay, so sell side imbalance comes out. Great.
4 million shares.
4 million? Why am I not seeing it here?
You don't have NASDAQ, man.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, I do have NASDAQ.
You do? Come over to my screen here. I don't know why you don't have it. It's right here. Rivian, sell 3.45 million shares. You don't have Trill or you don't have Intel?
I don't know what's going on.
You probably don't have NASDAQ, man.
I'm gonna close it
again, Arun, this is not your normal seat, bro. So don't feel bad about that, as we got to adjust our layouts and whatnot here as we trade.
Oh, I know why.
But there's Rivian for the sell side, and just to have a quick look, I'm going to get out of my Clover, but this is what happened on Rivian. So let's just review this just to show you guys. So this is 350, right? So 350 right here. Rivian cruising 179. The imbalance comes out, and you get a spike down to 176, then another move down this is the same minute. Like this is 49.50. 50 goes all the way down to 174. The imbalance is still here, man. So this is how people, like, you guys want to talk about traders trading in the dark? Like, someone's going to get filled. Look at this. This is already paired off. So you can add these two together. There's 8 million shares are going to get done on the close of Rivian, and it's going to be on the sell side. So we'll see what happens here. It's going to continue to push down. Rivian right now making moves to the downside. 176.50 just touched. It's bouncing around. Very, very violent. Some stuff is already paired off, but just watch out for the downside. We're still in our market short now. We'll see if we can take out the top. That's my out. It's going to be the top. But right now, Rivian on the sell side, I still think it brings it down. Cisco coming to the downside. They also have earnings. Old tech, IBM failed. I know Cisco's a different system or a different beast than an Intel or than whatever that old name I just said. Qualcomm, you saw them at new highs. We'll see if Cisco can revamp their business model, but their daily chart, I don't know. It hasn't been super. I mean, look at Cisco off the sell and balance, straight to the downside as well. So I don't know if
yeah, I haven't figured out what's going on here. I have everything. I'm thinking there's a filter here where I kind of just turned something off. Or something
you must turn off the NASDAQ. So that's okay. It is there. But did you want to talk about it? I mean, I can.
No, it's fine. I mean, with actual data, I might be able to say something, but when I don't have that, I'm not going to say anything about it. But just be aware that in about 30 seconds, there's going to be an update. Yeah. There's going to be an update, Sean. Maybe you want to keep an eye on this. At 3:55, there's an update from the floor. This number might change from a sell to a buy. If that's the case, you're going to see Rivian pop to the upside. If this number were to get bigger, you're going to see Rivian fall again. This is the final update we get before, well, at least the major,
up right
the last big update before we get the continuous flow into the close. Neil?
I was going to say, you guys definitely look at that 55 because I actually just saw Rivian come down. We do have some earnings to get to. I mean, there's only really a couple. I know you guys can talk about if you have any interest in Target, because we get Target and we get Lowe's as well through on the big board. But look, that imbalance, it just crushed it down to 174. It stayed.
I just got to get out here because I went short Clover by accident. We just take the out on Clover there for a nice win for us on CLOV, man.
Sell side, it stayed? is going to get some flow to the sell side, Sean?
Yeah, Rivian is still sell side right now, 1.86 million.
But they paired a lot,
It's actually going up. That's what I was saying. They've paired off 5 million now. So my math was wrong before. I said 8 million, but it was 3.5. So now you've got 7 million there. Still 1.9 million to do. There's our Clove. We out of Clover. It's showing us the other way. But right there you go. Now we're out of Clover. Okay, so darn it, the Q's bad wick is there one more time. There's another out on the triple Q's. We are short right now, 397.60, so it's at 50 right now. So not a big move, but Rivian, yeah, still look at this, man, still marching to the downside. This is going to be a big print, man. I expect this to continue to go down. I feel bad that I'm not short. When this number stayed, Arun, we both should have been short up here.
Well, I mean, that would assume that I have the right data to work with, which I don't. For whatever reason, my imbalance locator is not
working. Was your NASDAQ working in the morning? Oh, it doesn't. You don't have to pay for it. You have NASDAQ.
No, I have entitlements. It's something to do with the filter because I don't see any NASDAQ even though it's marked off. So there's a setting that I have unchecked or checked off that's not helping my case right now. But I'm getting New York imbalances, but just not NASDAQ. But be aware, Sean's got it up. It's 1.65 million shares to the sell side with about, about 3.5 minutes left. Watch this number get smaller and smaller as we get closer to the end. As long as it stays sell side, you're going to see this pressure to the sell side. If this were to get to the point where it changes directions, and it can change directions, if this were to be oversubscribed to the sell side, meaning everyone thinks it's going to stay a sell, they send in their offsetting order, which is a buy, and there's too many buy orders, this thing flips to a buy, and then you're going to see Rivian pop. So that's what you got to keep an eye on as we get closer to the end. I am completely flat on all my positions here. I got no stocks left, so I'm just going to sit back and watch how this Rivian closes with that 1.6 million share imbalance.
Yeah, just I'll watch it too. Just a quick update. I will put it back to Rivian. We just, did pretty well there. Well, like Carnival there, bang. We didn't do great on the first take, but we reshorted it, and now it's great. Nice out there. We're just holding one small piece here into the close just to see we may get a market move down if this Rivian stays. So you could see. So this means, guys, that there's a 1.5 million shares to come at the close. So like, what's a 1.5 million share order going to do? It's going to eat these levels up. So we could just absolutely tank down to like, I'm not going to make a call, but I figure the NASDAQ has some hidden orders in here that can absorb this. So I don't think it goes all the way down, but I don't know how illiquid this name's going to be into the close. So we will see on that one. Now it's coming down. I see that there's a super chat, MTTR.
I'll take a quick look at it.
Yeah, just look at that, but I know we want to keep our focus here on Rivian just to see what does happen now for RIVN. It looks like it's just kind of chilling out. We'll see if that last break does happen. See, now it's down to it was 1.4, now 1.2. Still making moves up and down here on RIVN. So if that stays, I actually want it to stay because I really, Arun, I want to see like what this does and how far down we print. 1.37 million shares right now. I'm not going to take it. I probably should have already, but you can go short. Like if it was still up here, we should definitely be taking this, but we're already sort of murking down lower. There's the big Rivian imbalance. Who else is going to show you this, by the way? Anyways, so.
Let me do this super chat, and then we'll come back to the close for Rivian here.
Yeah,
we've got about a minute or so before I can close up.
Look at the Qs.
Yeah, the Qs are falling apart as well. Okay, MTTR, the way it's been moving, you got to break out. If you got the right prices, if you got somewhere between 26 and 27, you're good to go. Multi-day wise, I'm not seeing any resistance to the upside. This is new highs for us, new territory. So if you've got a swing position on, what I would do is I would actually keep this and just trail it out. You've only got upside left in this market. We don't know how far it can go. So I would just let it go and see how far it gets. Now, if you got different price, in terms of taking profit, I would just be patient because you finally got that move breaking out after spending so much time going sideways. Why rush the exit just yet? Just trail it as we get higher and higher. And that's all I can really do. Now, this thing can come back, but there's a lot of support here. And where
we
we
only
go?
have 30 seconds. I was just saying, let's good wrap up there. Thank you for the super chat. That means a lot to us, man. That $20. Thank you so much for that big shout out there. You can see Rivian. Now it's gone. It's gone. So it's gone now. It's already been to the downside. I do not see it anymore. There's only 15 seconds left. But look at the action that this had on Rivian. There it is. It's right there. It's somewhere. Oh, I don't know. There it is. It's still right there. Still a sell. Still a sell. Still a sell. We're highlighting it. Still a sell. All the way to the downside. 124,000 shares.
That's
and the bell's about to ring. 3, 2, and 1. Hit that bell, Miss V. Rivian, I don't even see it anymore on here, but let's see where that final, there it is, a big monster final print there. Look at that print, guys. Look at that print on Rivian. 8 million. I called 8 million shares on bad math, and there it is right there. 8 million share Rivian print. It looks like, did you get the print, Brad?
Yeah, 8 mil.
What, do you know the price? 172. Yep, okay, so 172 flat. So there it is, man. Superman is in that building. We called that move to the downside, and there's a little bit of an introduction, guys, to the imbalance locator and why it can be super, super lucrative. I should have just made $7. Neil, how did we wind up today?
Well, I mean, it's one of those where obviously the move in Rivian is going to capture everyone's attention. But hey, the market was up, led by the NASDAQ, closing 0.7% to the upside. You got the S&P 0.3%, the Dow lagging a little bit, but still up upside. TSX barely scraping positive. Brazil, I always tend to look at it. It's just always counter trend there, Brazil getting crushed. But the big story, I guess, to the downside is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest of crypto, as that was a big pullback that we've had after the Taproot upgrade. It just feels like everyone's been waiting for this, and then you get one of those sell the news type of events. So we've seen this before, ho-hum. Rivian, that was a pretty exciting, you know what? I can't actually think of a time where a recent IPO had an imbalance like that and a move. That was crazy, so we all get to see something new.
Yeah, a little undercover 8 mil share there purchase. So that was a little nutsos there. We got out of the queues at 30 for a nice win to end the day. And Arun, like, I can barely speak, so that's how I know it was a pretty exciting day.
Yeah.
Thank you for stepping by. We'll see you tomorrow for your futures update. And I know that you're going to be back in the building a bunch of times over the next 20 or 30 days.
You're going to see a lot more of me as we get closer and closer to the end of the year. So maybe at least 2 to 3 times a week or so as we get closer to the end of the year.
Jesus, that often, eh? Yeah, we realized that we didn't take our vacation days.
We got forced to. What are you talking about?
Yeah, now I don't want it. I don't even want it. I may take my vacation day and just sit back there, let you and Neil host the show. I probably won't do that, of course. But that was a good day. I want to give a big shout out to Miss V and to Trader Prad for what, again, it was another awesome show. Thank you so much, guys. And beautiful hair for Miss V there. The pink. Look, she's like a man of the people, man. Like, you guys want hair color based on likes, gives it to you. I just can't wait for Prad to turn orange. Did that ever happen? That should be exciting when that does come through. A big thanks to Randy, although I'm not sure for what. Thank you, Randy. And thank you, a big shout out to Lucas. Randy was on the board a little bit today, so shout out to you. Thank you, Randy. Oh, how did your daughter like coming in here? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Thumbs up. Good. That was fun. Bryn, right? When she came in. Good. Thank you, Neil, filling in obviously admirably for the man who could never be replaced, Brennan Wickens. He's back tomorrow. Yeah, I like that little goggles there. No one in glasses today. So thank you, Neil. Did you have fun at the desk or what?
You know what, Brent, I'll tell you this, guys. Brendan does an unbelievable job. He sits in a very uncomfortable chair, which I said last time I did this, and he's got a very specific layout. And I'll tell you, we need to get the man a stronger PC, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're going to get that guy a better chair. So thank you, Neil. Thank you, Arun. Thank you, everybody. We will see you all tomorrow. I hope it was a fun day. It sure was on this side. From Trader TV Live, we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao, guys.